Welcome to a new era of wrestling podcasts, where the hot takes, fantasy booking, nostalgic trips, and everything that happens in your day-to-day life always comes back to the squared circle. It's the Everything is Pro Wrestling podcast with Mike DeSilva, Josh Flanagan, and Nick Flanagan.
And we are back, episode 37.
EAGLES. Eagles. Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to cut you off here. Which camera? This camera's got me. Okay. I just want to make sure everyone tuned in Super Bowl 59, live from New Orleans. Shout out to Nola. I would have loved to have been on Bourbon Street the other day.
That'd be nice.
But total domination. For those that don't understand, context is key. The score was 40-6 with 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. 40-22 is not indicative of the ass whooping the Philadelphia Eagles laid on the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're done. I think we might have killed the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but complete and utter domination. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP, deserving of an MVP 2 years ago before he got hurt. We don't need to talk about that anymore because now he's Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP. Saquon Barkley, greatest free agent addition of all time. I don't think it's even questionable now. Offense, defense. If there's anybody else, fuck them. We're getting another parade down Broad Street. It's only fitting. The city of brotherly love. On Valentine's Day, we'll get to hoist the second Lombardi. Complete and utter domination. If you didn't tune in, please watch the replay. It's kind of like a snuff film, but in the best kind of way. Shout out to the Eagles. Birds got it done. You all know me. I'm pretty humble. I try to stay pretty humble. I think I've done so throughout this run. That's just my nature. But if there was ever time to cut a fucking promo, it was today. Philadelphia Eagles are your Super Bowl champions, on top of the world. It can never be taken away. And God damn it, it was in fucking amazing fashion. So, thank you. Thank you.
I'm just going to say, if you wondered if you were a humble Eagles fan or not, you're the one Eagles fan I actually like.
I thank you.
And it's because you're a humble Eagles fan.
Thank you. I try. Because we get rewarded with things like this.
Right.
Yeah. And we just shut the fuck up sometimes.
Right. Well, not all the time.
Yeah, not all the
I
time.
like to think I'm a humble 49ers fan and I've yet to be rewarded. So
it's. I think you'll get there. You just got to get rid of that one defensive end.
Nah. Our best defensive end? Nah.
Sometimes you got to just ignore some shit.
Sometimes you got to do it.
Exactly.
We're not going to go there with my team. Well, Flanny, the floor was yours. You
Yeah.
That was
you earned that.
And
warranted.
I got a couple numbers.
Yeah, no,
I'm also a numbers guy.
Listen, go off, King. This
I'm
is your
also a
time.
bit of a numbers guy. So I took a lot of screenshots the last couple of days.
Go off.
I purposely did not go on social media the last 2 weeks.
Smart.
Didn't watch an ounce of First Take or Get Up or Fox or The Herd, any of this shit, because it didn't matter. I didn't care about any of the talking heads. I felt very confident in my team. I felt like we could win and we should win, but also we've seen the Patrick Mahomes bullshit, and I don't want to call it bullshit. We've seen the heroics from Patrick Mahomes.
Bullshit.
Yeah, you can call it bullshit. We've all seen it, so I was not going to get ahead of myself, but I felt good. 1 through 53, I was confident the Eagles were the better team, and that was shown. But just a couple numbers, because I think it's important to really understand how big this performance was and how dominant it was. So Jalen Hurts first, our MVP, right? The only quarterback in NFL history to do all of the following in a single game, regular season or postseason. So not a Super Bowl, just any football game. Throw for 200, rush for 70, throw multiple touchdown passes, rush for a touchdown, complete 75% of his passes, and average 10-plus yards on every pass attempt, and, of course, win the game. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
He also,
It's all right.
all-time, 10 rushing touchdowns, 10 passing touchdowns, the most in postseason history. This postseason alone, 5-5, the most in any postseason alone by one player. One of 2 quarterbacks in NFL history to lead offenses to 35-plus points in the Super Bowl twice. The other guy
Was Joe Montana.
It was Joe Montana.
There you go. All right. You guys are having fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Highest
CPA
Super Bowl winning
dropback.
quarterbacks, though.
Yeah. You got some guys. Shout out to Troy. It's CTE. It's actually
real.
done well for him. I
No,
thought
he's
he was
been
going to be a
pretty
lot
good.
worse.
No, he's a
than he would have been
functioning
at this point.
CTE-er.
Very functioning.
He's like Steve Young.
Yeah. Both function. High function.
Exactly.
Highest CPA dropback by any QB in the Super Bowl since 2000. Third highest success rate, fourth highest success rate, and fifth highest yards per average as well. Top 2 rushing performance in Super Bowl history now, breaking his own record of 70 with 72 the other night. The other person,
I'll be honest, that one I don't know.
Steve Young,
Oh, okay.
who's led his team in rushing and won a Super Bowl.
I didn't know he ran that much in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was fucking running his ass off.
'Cause I just remember the 6 touchdowns he threw.
Combined 95 points from the Eagle offenses in championship games, the most in history. We only won 1, but we scored a lot of fucking points.
Now 2.
This is the one. This is one of the ones I really, really loved, and this is Reddit thread. The Eagles just completed one of the most dominant playoff runs in history. I don't think people really, it's just happening. So we'll look back at it, but I don't think people are giving them enough credit. Averaged 36.25 points per game while holding opponents to 18.75, which is effectively 15.25 as the Chiefs were down 40-6 until all the starters were pulled.
A lot of garbage at the end of that game.
The touchdown Worthy had on the bomb, our third string safety was out there.
Yeah.
Right. Our third string
Kenny
safety.
Pickett threw a pass.
Kenny Pickett. Jalen didn't even have to finish the game.
Not
None
because
of
of
those
an
guys
injury.
did.
No. Because it was that much of an ass.
Kenny
bad.
Pickett, shout out to lifelong Eagles fan, so I'm glad he got that
Good
moment.
for
That
him,
was fucking
man.
awesome.
Good for him.
6 sacks in the Super Bowl, one short of the record. They didn't blitz once. Not one
That to
fucking
me is-
time.
I think that's the
6
craziest
sacks.
stat for me.
16 pressures, 6 sacks, not blitzing once, just 4. That's insane. That doesn't happen
Which
anymore.
I heard on a podcast this week was the exact thing that Tampa did.
Yes,
against them
that
in the
was
Super Bowl.
recipe. And I said to everyone, I'm like, it's always the recipe with him. Get to him, get him on the ground, get him seeing ghosts. I remember texting my brother early in the second quarter, like, he's seeing ghosts.
Yo,
out there.
I said the same
Deer
shit,
in the
word
headlights.
for word.
Snap and let me run 5
it-
backyard football.
Now, you guys just saying that because Cooper DeJean's white? DeJean's white, sorry.
Exciting white. He's
Well,
an
he's an
exciting
exciting
white.
Absolutely is.
He's an exciting
He's an
white.
exciting white.
He's white like a ghost, so that's
Yeah.
what...
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
fair,
no,
okay,
was
fair
saying
play,
yes,
fair play.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Pat, yeah.
Shout out to
Also,
him.
averaged 204.5 rushing yards per game throughout the postseason. Over 200. Pretty fucking good. Not to mention, Saquon Barkley, 2,503 yards, the greatest rushing season of all time.
Of all time.
Nobody's
Including
ever run
postseason.
for more
Right.
ever yet, including postseason.
Full season.
I think we all can probably agree if he plays against the Giants, he probably breaks
Yeah.
the 2105
Oh, yeah.
record, being that he only needed 104 yards.
Against
so
the
he would
worst
have
fucking
had
team
that
in the
record
league.
if he didn't need it against his own squad. So kudos to him for that. Eagles rushed for a record 818 yards in the postseason. Never happened before. Those are just some of the numbers. Also, first top-ranked defense to win a Super Bowl since the Broncos in 2015.
Nice.
I guess defense, in Jalen Hurts' words, defense does still win championships.
yeah.
But also, we scored the most points out of any team in the playoff this year. But with the average that we had, 36.5. Complete and utter dominance. Jake Elliott, who I was ready to fire fucking 8 weeks ago, 5 for 5, 50-yarder, 2 48-yarders was fucking money. Had 2 kicks he had to re-kick because it was fucking offsides. Just complete and utter dominance on all sides of the ball. Everybody stepped up. Jahan Dotson making plays.
Yeah,
fucking
what the fuck?
Avonte Maddox making. Everybody made a play. It was fucking insane. And I don't think, and again, it's hindsight. I think everyone's now thinking about the Chiefs. But I think as time goes on, people are going to look back at not only the season, this playoff run, and the Super Bowl performance. This team is going to go down in history in a lot of ways and be remembered for a very long time.
Yeah, this is going to be our version of the 85 Bears.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that a lot of the records, they had 24 net yards in the first half.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They
Yeah.
didn't cross midfield until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes couldn't get past midfield until the fourth quarter.
Their first play, the Chiefs' first play of the game was an 11-yard completion.
Juju
That
Smith.
was their only first down of the first half.
That was the only time I puckered a little bit.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
one
yeah.
play.
Yeah.
After that, I was wide open.
Oh, yeah.
Not on the shitty
Pause.
offensive pass interference call.
Oh, yes. That's when I thought the fix was
exactly,
in.
yeah.
When AJ fucking love tapped McDuffie's head, and I saw that in the replay, I texted my brother. I'm like, we're doing
Yeah,
this.
here we go.
We're doing this. And then we got a pretty funny
there
call
was a
couple.
back.
There was a couple.
There
It
was.
was-
So I'm like,
you
okay,
got-
that
it got-
evened out.
it evened out.
Yeah,
It
so
did.
it
It didn't
definitely evened
matter,
out.
but
But
yeah.
that was the other thing, too. When have you seen the Chiefs make that many self-inflicted
Right.
mistakes? They don't do that.
Yeah.
They were fucking scared
What did
out
we
there.
talk about earlier in the day? We
Yes,
we
yeah,
were
you
at
said
the
it. You
PC
said it,
women's
Mike.
game against
You said
UConn,
it.
and I said we agreed the Eagles are the better team, 1 through 53. They're better top to bottom. The only position that they weren't better at, and maybe now we can have that
Yeah.
discussion, was at quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely in that game, not even close.
Oh,
But now
100%.
it's like, hey, the conversation is going to be started.
Yep.
But we both agreed that the Chiefs, up to that point, did not make any mistakes.
No.
They hadn't. They had one turnover since November. They just were a team that didn't make mistakes. They had a lot of shit wins this year too. I think people
100%.
forget
Yeah. So many close
the amount of
ones.
luck
So
that they
many
had
close
this
ones,
year.
yeah.
And
And the
as
rap-
long
the
as the
refs.
Eagles did not shoot themselves in
Yes.
the foot, they were going to win that game because they were the better team.
Yep.
They could, better running back, better wide receivers, better offensive line, way better defense.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of things that we knew, but were they going to make the mistakes? Were they the referees, those 50-50 calls? Were they going to go the
In the
Chiefs'
Super Bowl,
way?
it's all it
In the
takes is
Super
one.
Bowl. We've seen it happen for the Chiefs recently against Buffalo and then countless other games. It didn't, and it was a fucking shit show.
wasn't.
And it
Complete and
was
utter domination.
As a non-Eagles fan, as a neutral fan, a very fucking
It's a nice color
boring
green you
ass.
got.
It is a nice
shirt.
color. It
It's
was
a
an
nice shirt,
accident
Mike.
again.
It's a nice shirt.
Is this
I'm
two
just saying.
pods in a row? Was last?
I'm just saying.
Well, he was
that
he
was
gave
what I'm
that
saying. Was
to
the
me.
last one when you wore the shirt? I can't remember the timeline.
This was like I had my daughter all day long, and I was like last minute, like, all right, let me just grab something, throw it on, and
Yeah.
of course it's fucking
First
green.
Super Bowl victory she's witnessed is an Eagles victory. I'm just
That's
saying. I'm just
also-
saying. We want the best for her, Mike.
I
so.
want it to be known. There's a stat you didn't have on your stat sheet, brother.
Okay,
That's-
this is
that's
more, but
true.
there's a lot of screenshots and
No,
nonsense.
I know the
and-
stat. Mike's about to drop.
Matt's about to drop the best stat. Stat Matt.
Stat
Stat Matt right here, baby. The Eagles are 1-0, not only in Super Bowls, but in seasons winning the Super Bowl after I've been in their stadium.
Thank you, sir.
So you're
Thank
welcome.
You. And I told you every
Right there
April we're
behind
going to
over-
make this a tradition. Every April I'm going to drive you to Philadelphia. We're going to sit in the parking lot of the Link. We're going to have a couple beers and we're going to drive home.
I'm sure it's not going to happen now that I accidentally called him Matt. But
Yeah.
like, you should totally go to Levi's.
You know, I've always wanted to go to
That's a
San
nice
Francisco.
trip, right? If
Oh,
I can tag along.
Absolutely.
I left.
three of us in
You
Santa
can have it
Clara.
next year. That's fine.
And this is where everything is
just
pro
want
wrestling.
one.
It's gonna take a
I
little
just
more for
want
me
one.
to root for the Cowboys to win
Yeah,
one.
no, I
But
get
San
that.
Fran, I can give you one.
Listen, this is where everything is pro wrestling, you know, as we always say, because last year WrestleMania was in Philadelphia, and, you know, I fucking hate the Eagles. They're a rival of mine. I've also said recently that, like, teams have to be competitive against each other to really feel like a rivalry.
To be
The Cowboys just fucking
100%.
blow, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
just
really
because
feel
you're
like,
divisional opponents.
Yeah,
at this
lately
point,
it doesn't
it's
feel
gotta
like
be a
it.
rivalry.
it's not the same as Red Sox Yankees, where I'm
Yes.
like, it's in my
Yep.
DNA. So when we went to WrestleMania last year in Philly, you know, I felt like I was behind enemy lines. But I always talk shit about the city of Philadelphia, the fans, and all that stuff. And I left that city being like, I fucking love Philly.
You got bit by the love bug,
I got
man.
bit, dude.
You
I
got
was in
bit by
City
the love
Love,
bug.
brotherly love, and I love the city. I had a blast. WrestleMania was awesome. I was like, I see the Kelly Green everywhere. I'm like, shit, the colors are fire. The people were
man.
dope. The citizens were dope.
It's been a year.
It was when I left there with a positive attitude that they went on to win the Super Bowl. So
Thank
you're
you
welcome,
for your service. Thank you.
Eagles
Thank you.
fans.
A lot of
okay?
people played a role in this. Everybody played a role, including you, Mike.
including
everybody
me.
played a role.
You
including
know,
you.
as somebody who was supposed to be an Eagles hater.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Can we at least all agree?
Can't hate greatness.
As great as a city as Philly is, fuck the Flyers.
Yeah, fuck the Flyers.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
We can agree fuck the Flyers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck you, Eric Lindros. You suck. Fuck
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Overrated. Get the fuck out
Fuck
of here.
the Flyers.
88. Patrick Kane's a real 88. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Also, the other thing that
hurt me, though. He's a
two
big
other
dude.
events that happened while we were in Philadelphia, by the way, there was an earthquake
Yep.
It was an earthquake.
and then
we
the solar
felt-
eclipse.
Yes.
So
Were you guys still in Philly for that?
We were
'Cause
like-
that's the
that
day
we were like
after-
Almost walked by.
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. No, we were leaving
Yeah,
the
we
city
were.
as it was happening.
Yeah.
Because that was the day after WrestleMania. Sunday.
Yeah. So two like very unique
man.
earthly events and
It was
out
written.
of the earth events happened while I was in Philadelphia, and then they won the Super Bowl.
It was written. So Jalen Hurts, shout out to Chris Long, Eagles legend, Super Bowl champion. He had a quick quote from his Greenlight pod today where he's like, you know, I saw Jalen after the NFC Championship game. He's like, it was a fucking party in the locker room. He's like, holy shit, these guys are confident. He was like, I walked by Jalen's locker room. He's just sitting there cool as a cucumber, like nothing, like it was a preseason game. And he's like, I don't talk to Jalen much. We're not close buddies. He goes, but I walked up to him and wished him luck. And he's like, it's already written, Chris, about the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like, this is the guy. Like, when you have that, that's, again, I mentioned to you guys why I'm so happy for a guy like Jalen Hurts who
Yeah.
deals with so much bullshit. So much bullshit about what he is and what he isn't, but he's a fucking winner.
Oh, yeah.
He wins
Yeah.
at every level. He perseveres through adversity at every single level. He does it the right way. I couldn't be fucking happier for him, man. I could not be happier for him.
He was on one of the Bama teams that won a national championship,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And then got benched when fucking they did win.
Right.
And Smitty, shout
Right.
out to Smitty again, homecoming, scored that one on that pass from Tua, and then goes to Oklahoma. It doesn't really work out his way. Even coming to Philly, I remember us drafting him. I'm like, okay,
Right, you
I
guys still
like
had
this
Carson
guy.
Wentz.
But yeah, and coming off of what we had, Carson would have been the MVP the year we won the Super Bowl. But again, yeah, Jalen could have been your MVP 2 years ago. I love Lamar and Josh Allen, all those guys. Mad props and respect. Jalen's done some shit you guys ain't done. You
That's
know, he
true.
beat the best. Also, Philadelphia Eagles are dynasty deniers. We did it to the Patriots. We've now done it to the Chiefs. You want to, in the sense of the three-peat, really.
Right,
but
right.
if you want to accomplish some shit that's never been done before, don't run into us. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, because both of them were in 3 straight Super
Yeah.
Bowls, and you're the one loss.
Yep. For the Patriots, it was week. They
were
won
the middle
before
one.
us and then after
Yeah.
us. That fucking Rams Super Bowl, worst Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life.
Same,
13-3.
yes.
I thought that's what this Super Bowl was going to be, especially at the beginning when they went 3 and
Thought
out.
so, too.
Well, not 3 and out, but there was 2 quick drives,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh shit, is it going to be defensive
Yep,
again? And
especially
then,
our first drive. I'm like, okay, just
Yeah.
fucking.
Right.
And in my head, I'm like, if we win 7-3, I didn't give a fuck. We were 100-0. But to go fucking 55 in the NFC Championship game, 40 in the Super Bowl.
That was crazy.
That's also never been the 95 points in back-to-back in championship games. The records are there, but also it was just so much fucking
Fuck,
fun
if
to
it doesn't
watch.
snow, think how much you probably score on the Rams.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Dominant run.
Insane run.
Dominant
man.
run.
Insane run.
Legendary run. Definitely historic. One that people will talk about for a while. That's a team that's set up to succeed for the
window is not
foreseeable
closed,
future.
fellas.
No, you got time.
A lot of those guys making plays were young guys making plays. The window is open, and obviously it's the NFL, so guys will move. And especially a guy like Josh Sweat.
I was going to say,
he's a free agent. Milton Williams, who had the big strip sack, those are free agents. So there'll be some guys who move. But look at, bringing Bond in, bringing all those trades, like the fucking trade we made for Wentz got us Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon, all these guys from years ago. Like Howie's a mastermind.
And
we got a great owner.
The Eagles finished last season like ranked 30th in defense.
Yeah,
they were like
we were
terrible.
We were
30th or 31st.
30th in pass. We were 26 total. This year, number 1 overall.
Yeah.
Like that's in Vic Fangio, another Philly guy. I'm so happy for him. Zach Bond. Come on, from fucking special teamer in New Orleans, full circle moment. That pick. Yeah, you couldn't have scripted anybody. Cooper's fucking pick 6, man.
On his birthday. First NFL interception, pick 6, and arguably top 2 or 3 quarterback of all time.
47 on the ground. I'm sure if you asked him that, 47 on the ground, people think the Chiefs win by 4 fucking touchdowns.
Right.
Nope, he had 70 receiving. He did all the little things, picked up a couple big blocks on the blitz to get Jalen there. You couldn't ask for anything better, man. It was fucking amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I also told you earlier in the day that I was only going to text you if you guys won.
Yes.
Because there's nothing worse than the text.
Yeah. I hate
when people lose.
Nothing worse than last year when all those sorry. Like,
just don't text. Just don't even text.
I fucking hate it. Even and you almost got me with the early text of congratulations.
But it was 34.
No, completely understandable. Absolutely.
And all I sent was a gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And
I sent a gift.
And it was perfect because my response was no in all caps. And then, heart because I love that you were thinking of me. And then he scored on the next play.
Yeah.
The fucking Chiefs score on the next play. I'm like, God damn it,
Bro,
Mike.
I was doing math at that point, and I'm a very superstitious person.
That was me.
And the last thing I want, you're a good friend of mine. I have other good friends that are Eagles fans. I don't want to ruin it for them.
Certainly, and that would have been in such heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been here today. I wouldn't have left the house
I get
for...
it. Believe me, I get it.
It was 34-0 at that point, and the math was just telling me it's almost impossible for them to
when
score
it got to that
fucking
point, I'm
30.
like, okay, 8, 16, 24, 32, and then a field goal to win. So you 4 touchdowns, all 4 2 points.
And then stopping the Eagles every time in 2 minutes or less, 3 and outs. This wasn't happening.
No, and again, it means nothing. This means nothing. But Mahomes' stat line being what it is, and them getting the 40 to 22, it should have been 40 to 6.
Yeah.
It was 46 until 4 fucking minutes left. We pulled the starters. When do you ever see backups in and fucking all these guys on both sides of the ball? Like,
that's cool.
In a
though.
Super
Give
Bowl.
them some burn.
I loved it, man. Kenny Pickett, lifelong Eagles fan, grew up there, got to take the last snap of the Super Bowl, man.
A lot of people hit a bet over 2.5 pass throwers or whatever in the Super Bowl. That was a prop, and Kenny Pickett threw a ball.
Yeah, he did.
So people hit that.
Wasn't a good one, but he threw one.
He threw one. Wasn't a good one. Jalen Hurts had a really bad interception early in the game too, where I'm like, what the fuck?
That was bad. So that one's
like an arm punt.
The Cam Jurgens just completely missed the block. Did not pick the blitz up. Him and Dickinson literally looking at each other as the guy's flying by to kill Hurts. And even after that, I'm like, fuck.
That one was early enough too, where I was like, ooh, that could be the big mistake.
That's what I said. I said the same thing.
100%.
I said this. That was one of those mistakes.
And then to get the stop where he was, I was like, okay, like, and then Mahomes back-to-back picks.
Right.
Like even after Cooper, I'm like, okay, 17-0, calm down, chill, relax. And then because in my head, all I'm thinking is like, all right, what can we get to at halftime to where we can have a nice little chunk where I can enjoy the halftime show?
Right.
Because obviously I was so excited for the halftime show when it was announced, and then when I found out my team was in it, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this. 2 years ago, Rihanna didn't get any of my attention, and that's fucking Rihanna.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not going to watch a lick of this. And then we finally got 24. I'm like, my wife was like, call me for the halftime. She was a great soldier and was in the room doing what she needed to do. And I called her out. And I was like, it's 24-0. I'll try to enjoy this.
Yeah.
And I did overall. But yeah, insane.
Apparently, you're based on the internet. You're
I'm the only one.
person.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm the only one.
No, I think
I liked your take. You had a really good measured take where I was like, it could have been this, could have been that. I would have definitely, like you mentioned it, Pyros and Crips and all. There's so many other songs that would have hit for me personally, but it wouldn't have matched the message and what he was trying to curate out there. It was cool.
I think most of the people that didn't like it didn't get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
and also they're not
old
fans.
white guys.
Yeah.
It was
Why is Samuel Jackson dressed like that?
Yeah, it was a real in-depth hip hop performance, and you can, even when they've had hip hop performers in the past, there's been a lot of like the hits.
Yeah, right. He's the only solo hip hop artist ever out there. So
exactly,
everyone else has had more people. He only had SZA for 2 verses,
couple
hooks.
Yeah. But it's listen, and again, we're gonna touch on this very briefly because, like you said, I posted on social about it. Objectively, great performance as far as like the choreography, the message, the thought that went behind it, phenomenal, right? And it was great. personally, because, you know, I just wanted a little bit more pop, you know what I mean? I wanted him to have those big moments, and I know that kind of contradicts like the whole point of Kendrick Lamar being the Super Bowl halftime performer, right? Because he's a very conscious rapper. And I get it. And I've seen all the hot takes, and I've seen all the people saying like, yo, you don't like hip hop if you don't like that. That's not the case at all. It's
Skibbity-bibbity-bee.
Yeah, exactly. It's just simply like sometimes I don't want to really fucking think while I'm watching the Super Bowl, bro. Like, I'm sorry. I know, I get it.
Especially Super Bowl. Especially
I just don't want to think right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, cool, awesome. I'm happy that he did it. I'm happy he did it the way he wanted to do it, and I am applauding. It was a great overall show. For me, I was a little bit tuned out. And, you know, I've seen all the takes. I've seen other people say, well, it's because he wasn't talking to you. Okay, that's fine. I'm just telling you, for me, it was... I can say that it was a great performance, but also have wanted something else.
And I think that's why it's such a good measure to take, because I think the average person is like, well, I didn't like it, so it sucked.
Yeah, no, I don't think it sucked at all.
You cannot like something, it can be great.
Yes.
You can love something and it cannot be great, but you loved it because it was sentimental meant on you. That's fine.
Right.
Like that, and that's music.
Right.
Like that's
Music's
art.
so subjective.
That's art.
Subjective,
Right.
yeah. If like, you know, the people that are on Facebook saying like, I can't understand him. Why are there no more hip hop? It's like that. Those are the people you can be mad at.
My favorite response to that was somebody was like, all these people saying they can't understand what he's saying are going to go home and put on Pearl Jam. And I'm like, that is so true. And you can't understand a fucking thing Eddie Vedder says either.
Yeah, and remember when Red Hot Chili Peppers literally didn't even plug in their instrument? So it's like, what do you want? Kudos and props to Kendrick, because there was a message sent, and, you know, again, this is not contrarian Mike D here, but I also think the Drake thing has been beaten with fucking death. I was already over it, and I think like the overreaction to the A minor line, like, yes, cool, haha, big memeable moment, but to me, I'm just like, all right, dude, let's move on. You know, guess what?
I'm really hoping that the game over at the end in the seats is like, okay, it's
that's
over.
it.
It's
It's
officially
over.
done.
Well,
Like,
Drake's
we
already
obviously
addressed it in
knew
Australia this week.
We already knew this was coming for the Super Bowl, wherever it was. We know, okay, he's got to play the song. I actually kind of really enjoyed how he teased it throughout.
No, it was cool. I thought that part was cool.
How he teased it,
but it would have been better for me if he never played it, personally.
Okay,
because it would have been the biggest fuck you. Like, I got this, and I don't even need to do it for people. And I think
that's what a lot of, especially like a lot of Drake fans are like, your big moment is now always going to be tied to him, which I get, but also like, it was going to be tied anyway.
It was going to be tied.
So
anyway,
it's like, and then if he didn't play, it's like, how do you not play? You were scared of the lawsuit. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah.
I did appreciate the chain though. The chain was fun.
Yeah, the chain.
At first, I'm like,
all the
like
subtleties.
old school Atlanta Braves, like and I'm like,
you know, and then Serena out there.
Yeah, Serena was cool for obviously multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Even SZA. I mean, it was
great. It was a great.
I think it was exactly how he intended it.
Yeah.
So from his perspective, kudos to him, man.
You know, but when I'm sitting there on a Sunday, you know, full of buffalo chicken dip and everything, for me personally, I'm not really trying to think too deeply and like trying to decode shit. Like, I just want to hear some bangers. That's me. Okay, I'm a simple-minded person. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry, but I'm also not at the same time. But I think that's a good recap of the Super Bowl.
Appreciate you guys indulging me. I need to get that out.
No, absolutely.
No, you earned it.
Thank you. Envy you.
Same.
I hate my football fandom. I don't think I'm much different than, you know, the average Cleveland Browns fan at this point, because you do the 30 years of irrelevance for the Cowboys and you multiply it by at least 2 because of how much of a microscope we're under every year, right? Maybe self-inflicted because a lot of the fans are assholes, the Cowboys fans.
No, but I mean, America's team and Jerry Jones and
Browns,
everything that's come with it.
People just expect it.
But you're going to hate this, but you can't deny it. They're football's Yankees.
Yeah, the football's Yankees. No, they are. They absolutely are. They absolutely are. And the Lakers, you know, I've seen the memes.
Duke basketball,
I've seen the
Notre Dame
memes.
football.
Yeah, you know, George,
it's all the different
whatever.
things.
It is what it is. You know, that's fine. Congratulations, Flanny. We're not making.
And even the Browns went away for a little bit and came back.
That's true.
Yeah, what the fuck, you guys?
The Browns were likable for so long until they made one trade.
Yeah.
And now they're rightfully hated.
And now the likable guy's leaving.
Yep.
He don't want to be there anymore. Jesus.
He stuck out for him,
He
though.
would look great in
San
Francisco. I'm just going to say that.
He'd look great. He'd look great in Philly.
Nah.
I think he's going to New York.
I think we got an opening. We're going to have an opening.
I think he's going to New York.
Which
New
York?
The Giants. Oh, actually, the other New York has opened up, too, now.
Yeah.
Is he going to complete the Brett Favre trajectory and end up on the Vikings?
Jesus Christ. I hope
Give
not.
JJ another year and let Darnold go get paid somewhere?
It's possible. He needs to fucking go out back and be taken out.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a little bit now, and I think I was talking to my cousin who's a Jets fan. He's like, no, we got a new coach revamped. And I'm like, you said the same thing about Saleh. Saleh was fucking humming, and then he came in and said, no, we're going to do it my way. if I'm any team, I wouldn't want to touch him. Obviously, somebody will, but I don't know what
he has name value.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, like,
or
on
if
the
you have a
field
young
value.
quarterback, maybe you can learn from him.
But is he teaching?
Nah, probably not.
Cleveland does make sense because then they could draft his
Oh
replacement.
God!
Imagine him and Jameis in a QB
Why
room.
would he go to? He's not going to Cleveland. You're not going to.
I have no idea
I
where
don't
he
know.
goes. I don't know where he
They
goes.
offer him a lot of. They're apparently looking to go with like a veteran quarterback. Well, whoever they.
Yeah,
They're
forget
not
it.
going with Aaron. I mean, to me,
It's either going to be him or Cousins in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I would say Cousins more than likely, but Aaron
Jameis,
Rodgers.
man, and Jameis we trust. That was another cool
Right.
thing about Super Bowl. I don't know how much of the
he had-
content
he had a
Jameis
blast,
saw. Oh
yeah.
my God, it was so good.
He was funny.
The dance that AJ Brown and Mekhi Becton did was instructed by Jameis. So
That's
Jameis,
great.
when he was going around during the thing throwing W's out,
He was doing
he was like, I need you to do a cha-cha slide, and then they hit, and then they asked AJ after, was that from Jameis? And he lit up. He's like, yeah, we stole that from Jameis.
Jameis is great, man.
Yes.
He's the gift that just keeps on giving,
He's
man.
great. He's got after his NFL
Oh,
career,
my God.
he'll be.
He's gonna be
We're
everywhere.
not
going
going
to
to see the last of him
No,
for sure.
He's so good.
But yeah, that wraps up the NFL season. Sad. It's always sad to see it go. But it'll be here before we know it.
it does usher in what's going to be like the worst, especially starting like tomorrow or Friday. I think is like just the worst time for sports.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
because there's no
Until
hockey.
March
Hockey's
Madness.
not doing
Yeah,
anything
hockey's
because
on there. Yeah, the four.
they're doing the Four
whatever,
Nations.
Four
There'll be
Nations
the
Cup.
All-Star game
Yeah.
for basketball. So there's
Basketball.
not going to be basketball games till like next Thursday or something like that.
College
Yeah.
basketball starts to heat up though.
College
does.
basketball will be good.
Starts to get the
Madness will get us.
bubble starts
Yeah,
to
like,
bubble.
that's gonna be it.
I think this is the only time of year where you have like a day or two you don't have any of the major sports
Right.
happening.
Yeah, I know.
It's a shame.
I'm sad when every time the football ends. It's just sad. It's just a
No,
sad
100%.
time.
And as much as I'm excited for the Yankees to come out and redeem themselves, it's still kind of hard for me to get into baseball.
I can't get into
I
baseball
just
right
can't.
now.
I can't get
Not
into
yet.
it this early. I need to see like
I
rosters, and
I need to be like a couple days away from opening day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm in
yeah.
it. Then I'm like, all right.
Once
yeah.
MLB The Show comes out,
Yeah.
that's when I'm in.
Absolutely.
MLB The Show comes out, then I'm in.
And then I'm gonna do this thing I tell myself every year. I'm like, this is the year I'm gonna get really into baseball, and I'll watch like the first month, and then just
I know,
give up on
Yeah,
it for
That's
a while.
usually me too. Yeah, the
until
dog
like
days of summer
until like
catch you.
August,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I'm like, all right, now I'll come back in.
Usually like mid-August until
Yeah.
Labor Day is when I'm like dialed back in again. But also road to the show and MLB this year. You'll have the aluminum bats again.
Yeah, I
Back.
saw
That's-
that.
that's
College.
gonna
It's
be
gonna
dope.
start in high school actually.
Yeah.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna
start
be
your
dope.
character in high school and then
Fire.
work their way up.
I'm a big Diamond Dynasty guy.
Okay.
So I do a lot
Yeah.
of online, offline grinding, earning cards and stuff like that. To me, it's the best ultimate team out of any of the sports games because you can do it for free. Like you don't have to spend money.
Yeah.
Whereas FIFA, Madden, if you don't spend money, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
Basically.
But that's the
yeah.
EA model.
That's the EA model.
That's what
yeah,
makes
yeah.
the show better. Is it's not EA.
Yeah, the show is great because you can just grind offline shit, and it will take you a little bit, but you can earn.
I just
some of the
don't
best
need
cards.
I just don't need to know for a fact that some 6-year-old's better than me. Like I want to at least
Yeah.
pretend I'm better than them in
Yeah,
my
no,
head.
you,
So
don't really, you honestly don't even really have
that's
to
why I
do
don't
much
like
online.
to play online. That's why I do like Road to the Show or a franchise mode. 'Cause
Yep.
It is
I
fun.
can just do those alone. And Road to the Show is great because if you make yourself like a fielding player, you can be done with the season in like an
I
hour.
know,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Fly through
Yes.
that
Once
thing.
in a while, you get like a line drive.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
All right, fair play. Well, there it is. Congrats, Flanny.
Thank you.
We missed last week's scheduling.
My
was
fault,
tough.
my bad.
No, it was
Double
us too. Me
booked.
too.
No,
We had the
Basketball
basically.
season's winding down.
I mean,
so
Yeah.
we did what, like 4 in a row? I think
we
we
did,
were
man.
due.
We were
That's like a
rocking and
record,
rolling.
yeah.
We were due for
rocking and rolling.
It just sucked. It was after the Royal Rumble. We didn't really get to
Right.
talk about that. That was kind of a shitty thing, but I think we called Charlotte.
Yeah.
we called
I think we were
Charlotte.
pretty much consensus.
Yeah, but Jay was
None
a
of
big
us
Jay
surprise.
was on Jay.
Shocked.
No. He was
I
in the
did not
mix. He was
think
in that
so.
half dozen we talked about, but
Yeah.
I don't think. Even I remember I watched the pod back. We gave him like maybe 30 seconds of like
Yeah.
he could, but he won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
I think because we expected two of like the marquee matches from WrestleMania, one of them at least to include CM Punk or Cena.
Yeah.
We expected
Yeah.
that to be told at the Royal Rumble, but apparently, and it made official this week, Jey Uso and Gunther.
Yeah.
That's what we get at WrestleMania. So. That's very similar. I feel like this is a very similar trajectory to what Sami Zayn did last year with the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't beat me. You don't belong here. Boom, he beats him at WrestleMania.
Yep.
So
Yeah, there's no way Jay
Like copy
loses at
and
Mania,
paste.
right?
fuck no.
There's
Because
no-
they're
absolutely
not going
no
to drag
way.
it another year.
No.
Right.
It's not like Cody finished the story, Like
and
this
certainly
is,
not. I think the average person also forgets their match at Saturday night's main event. It
Right.
just happened. Like that was already kind of teeing that up. And I
That's-
guess maybe we should have paid more attention to that. I don't think
guess.
so. I don't think so even. But like maybe that was some tea leaves on the wall and writing on the wall. But yeah, he's got to go over. He has to.
That match for me is why I didn't give Jay much of a shot at winning. in
Same.
the Rumble,
I thought that
'cause
was
I'm
like the
oh,
end.
that's the end.
I thought
They're
that was
they're
it.
done
I
for a
thought-
while.
I thought that
come
was
back
done.
to this like SummerSlam
Yep.
time.
And didn't know what was next for
Right,
Jay, but
exactly.
figured they'd find something because he's Jay.
Right.
But no, and that's another thing. Like, I'm not going to cut another promo here, but like anybody online who's busting Jay's balls, or he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, whatever, like, I can understand if you're maybe a fan from a certain perspective or a certain time or what how you look at pro wrestling or whatever, but like he is the most over guy in the company.
Oh my God, big
He
time.
is printing more money than anyone else in that company right now simply off of the merch and all the things he sells, the glasses, the t-shirts, all the different things he does. The intro has literally now become like the intro to Raw every week. Like you have to
like
start
20
it with
minutes.
him.
Yeah.
Right? Also the thing I love the most is the core memories he's making every week for these little kids. Like
That
now
one
he's
this
doing
week?
it. Now
Yeah,
he's
two
doing
of
it
them this
twice.
week, yeah.
And it's just like seeing those kids light the fuck up. And the best part is when he walks away and they turn back to their parents and they look at each
they're
other
like,
like,
"You see that?"
oh my God, like that is, you know, and maybe I'm getting old here and fucking sappy, but that is so cool to see.
Yeah.
The fucking encores, the built-in encores, like we don't really see that. We haven't
Nope.
seen that much. Like he's absolutely deserving of it. I think even the Bloodline story, like people forget him and Roman carried that shit at the beginning with the main event while we were still in COVID and having the matches that they had. He's probably deserved this type of run and rub for a while now, and the timing is right, and I'm fucking happy for him, man. He's deserving of all of it. He absolutely is.
Yeah, same. To me, unless I'm maybe not remembering something, I can't remember a bigger disconnect between the internet and the arena
I know.
than
Oh
ever
my God.
before
Yeah.
right now with Jay.
It's
Because the
insane.
internet was so
Yeah.
pissed that he won for some stupid fucking reason, but the arenas go insane.
Yes.
I mean, what, 70,000
Yes.
people in
All
Indianapolis
fucking- yeah.
going crazy when he won? Like,
Yeah.
dude is over
No,
as
the
fuck.
pop was crazy, man. And even I remember having to like rewind a little bit, and I'm like, I didn't appreciate. No, it was the next day. I didn't appreciate how loud the pop was till the next day.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit.
It also took a second because I think everybody in the arena was
Everyone was
surprised
like,
that
I
he
couldn't
won.
believe it, yeah.
This just
This is a
happened.
mistake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of had Cena's face.
It was
Like,
kind of
wait a
like
minute.
the Undertaker losing it to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
wait, huh?
Yep.
Wait, am I supposed to react right now?
Yeah,
Was this an
like,
accident?
what else is coming?
Is Vince going to come tear both quads again? Like, what the fuck's about to happen?
Thin ass Vince.
Yeah,
You
I
see
know.
him at
What the
Super
hell?
Bowl?
He's
Yeah.
just slimmed
I
out.
didn't see
I'm
that.
glad
Yeah,
he
he was
got
at
rid
the Super Bowl and there's
Oh,
like
that
pictures
makes
of him. He
sense.
looks thin as fuck.
I'm glad he got rid of the mustache.
Man
Same.
stressed.
Yeah. The mustache,
Oh, he doesn't look
as
like
somebody
the,
who's battling like a
the
lot
dude
of.
from Sonic and Tails anymore.
No, he doesn't.
No,
look
he
like,
does. He doesn't look like. This is going to be so
I thought he always
specific
looked like
and
Mr.
niche.
Biddleman from like Mike.
Nobody is going to know what I'm about to say at all. But he reminds me of the villain from Casper Meets Wendy. That was the first time I ever seen Hilary Duff. She was.
I can see it.
And
God
I
bless
was,
her.
we were the same age. Keep in mind, we were the same age at that time. We were like,
Right.
she was a couple years older
Oh,
than me,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I can say this.
Oh, Lizzie McGuire,
I had the
yeah.
biggest crush on her after Casper
Oh.
Meets Wendy when I was 6 or 7.
I
Okay,
get
so
it.
everybody
That's how I
relax.
felt about Christina Ricci when I saw the original Casper.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fair.
Fuck yeah. So we can say that because we're speaking from our
I'm
minds.
speaking
Then,
from when I was
100%,
like
yeah.
6 years old
Exactly.
and I first watched
And
Casper.
also now, because Hilary Duff is fucking
Hilary
so
now.
amazing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, no,
and
she's, wow, dime.
she's got a little bit back there too.
She's working with
shout out to
shots women,
man.
shots women. But the uproar about Jay and this and that, I think is first of all very overblown because I think his matches are fine. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
They're
he's
fine.
He's not gonna be. He's your typical like main
He's-
eventer WWE style.
He's this era's John Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's incredibly charismatic.
5, 6, 7
he's
move, simple
ridiculously
moveset.
over with the crowd. But yeah,
Roman
his matches aren't
Reigns.
anything
Yep.
special.
Yeah,
Roman Reigns don't do
Simple
anything
moveset,
special.
but also just does them so well.
Yeah.
And every week looks like the same. So there's no layoff. There's no nothing. There's no missing a beat. He doesn't hurt anybody. He's
Right.
safe in the ring.
He looks good if you
Mm-hmm.
if you connect with the crowd the way that you do, and people can say, "Oh, it's a gimmick because of the yeet." It's like, okay, then why doesn't every superstar do it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you
Look
don't
at,
think-
I mean, LA Knight with the that's been huge. It's never been at this level.
Exactly. Like you think about all of the people that they've tried to get catchphrases over with
Mm-hmm.
and all this shit. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
No,
You
this
ha-
is
the
like
superstars
rock level
still-
shit. This
Right.
is
You got
Austin
the
level
fucking
shit.
merch,
This
the
is,
colors, like his style. He
The
doesn't
Tennessee
even-
Vols tee last night was,
that was
a nice
sick.
pop.
You don't even have. He doesn't even have to really say much on the microphone. Like,
No.
he just. I mean,
Raw opens, you know you're gonna see him on the concourse. The place is gonna go ballistic. He's gonna come down, and you're gonna see 70 fucking thousand hands. I mean, even just what he does to Michael Cole every
Oh,
week.
it's the
That
best.
motherfucker's
Yeah,
eating everywhere.
yeah.
It's fucking.
the heat
so
lines are always so
good,
funny.
man. The one last night about
said-
Montoya.
Oh, Montoya!
Oh my
yeah, yeah,
god,
that was great.
fucking killed me.
That was great.
That's been the best viral clip of the week.
Yeah.
but oh my god, so fucking good. But
Montoya, por
everything-
favor. Yeah. Michael Cole was like, I haven't yeeted this much since I was a teenager
Yeah.
or something like that. It's just the yeets, the,
Yeah,
the
he's like,
puns.
I thought isn't there a pill for that? Like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my god,
The puns
yeah,
are
so
always
fucking
great.
Good.
But I mean, he's over. He's deserving of it, and I'm curious to see where that falls on the card for WrestleMania.
I know.
Because it ain't going to main event either
It
night.
opens night one, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
It's gonna be
what I'm
open.
thinking.
Same,
like
both
type of
Royal
intro.
Rumble winners, neither one of them is main eventing
No.
either night.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's true. That's
Like,
true.
neither one's getting the main event.
Nope.
It'll probably. I said that semi-jokingly. It probably will open night one. I mean, or
Yeah.
night two probably, because that's
Maybe
what they did
night
with
two.
Seth
Yeah,
and.
maybe night two.
Is there a
just 'cause it's
Saturday night's
little-
main event before WrestleMania?
I don't think
don't
super
think
close.
so.
I think we get one more before it.
I don't think so. I think the
No?
next one's not till Memorial Day weekend.
Okay, I thought we got one more in March, but maybe
We have
not.
Elimination Chamber in March.
Okay.
So Elimination Chamber is they've begun the qualification for Elimination Chamber, which we know is going to give you the other title match.
Right.
For both men and women. Charlotte seems to be leaning towards Tiffy.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I think
was
that's
kind of what everybody
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah, very good.
They
Hopefully
had
Tiffy wins.
They had a cool little promo on SmackDown on Friday. Charlotte had a little bit less heat there on Friday than she did on Raw because last week, holy fuck.
Which reminds me, I remember I said it to you guys. That I think now I feel even a little bit more confident about Rhea. I don't think she was supposed to come out. I really, truly
don't
do
think
not
so?
think Rhea was
No, I
supposed to
think
come
she
out in that
was.
moment like that. I think they were like, holy shit, nobody wants her to be a face. We need to now flip this right away.
I think it was a callback to earlier that night when Gunther came out and confronted Jay. It was have the champion confront the,
Which,
challenge, the potential
it makes all
challenger
sense
on
in
the
the world.
show.
It makes all sense in the world. But I am glad it's Tiffany at the end of the day. And I guess it hasn't been confirmed yet, but assuming it is, that needs to be the way
It
it
hasn't
goes.
been confirmed 100%.
Yeah, but that promo
it
from the
feels
other
like
night
it probably
felt
will on
it.
Friday.
Yep, it felt very much like
We're
that.
recording
Although
this Tuesday.
I will say to your point about Rhea, there is a chance she came out sooner than she was supposed to.
maybe.
But I do think she was supposed to always go out.
So yeah, that's fine. Like you said, that's not going to main event. So now this Elimination Chamber, both men and women, is going to be interesting because the women, I feel we've been getting the tease of Rhea and Io, but that's not happening.
I was thinking that same thing. I was thinking like, oh, they'll probably do like a last chance battle
Maybe
royal
like
or
a
some
last-
shit,
yeah.
or gauntlet match or something. That's when Io gets in. She wins the chamber. Io and Rhea at Mania, and now they're doing it the night after Elimination
yep.
Chamber.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck, who's gonna win the Elimination Chamber?
That's what I'm saying, which to me seems pretty stupid because that feels like it's going to be a good match. There's a mutual respect there.
Yeah.
You kind of have,
Good story.
Rhea's a tweener-ish face mostly.
I've said it on here multiple times. I
Turn
really
Io.
wanted that to be the Mania match.
Yeah.
And they put on a banger in that tag team match last night
banger.
on Raw. That was
that was good.
that was an unexpectedly really good match. Not that they weren't capable of it, but for a
Shout
Raw,
out to
you don't
Liv, man.
typically
That was
get
a wild cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Liv.
In the match, it was obviously hard to see when they had the little backstage thing with Dom, and they kind of zoomed in. That was a big ass.
Yeah, no,
gash,
she-
man.
dude,
That
she
thing
was bleeding
nasty.
bad.
That thing was
Yeah.
nasty.
She was bleeding bad, and I saw the ref lean in, check on her, and she must have said she was good off the rip
Yeah.
because he just backed up, got his gloves out,
Yep.
in case it got crazy. It's great that we're at a point now in WWE where they don't stop the match.
Yes.
Yep.
Because, like, dude, just let it play out. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Like, I'm sure they're all clean.
Yep.
They all get tested. They all have their shit. Nobody's going to be bleeding on you and you're worried about whatever. You can show blood on Netflix. I think, I know that was a fear of Vince's for a long time was blood and all that. I'm glad we're past that because that would have derailed a great match.
Yeah.
Would have derailed a really
Think
good
of
match.
Drew and Punk in Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
If
Oh
they
my
would have had to
God.
have stopped that. I mean,
Yeah,
even
hell no.
the towel was even too much for them to get this shit out of here,
Yeah.
which was a necessary evil. But like, imagine if they had to put a stop to that because of blood. Like,
Well, I always think of Mania 39 with Finn and Edge in the Hell in a Cell. Finn
Oh,
gets
yeah.
cut
Was
deep
y'all-
on the
that
top of his
was
head, and they
nasty.
stopped. They had to stop.
That
They
thing
Well,
was
that was
nasty.
different.
Exactly. It was
That
different
thing was
because it was
nasty.
deep. But I'm
Dude
just
could have
saying.
bled out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Think of how much
Yes.
the momentum just
Yes.
stopped in
Yep.
that match. Granted, they absolutely had to do it,
Yeah.
but it killed the momentum for
It
that match.
happened at Takeover Dallas.
Yes, Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
Against Finn
Yep,
Balor.
yep.
Yeah.
That was
That's the one where he literally just put. That was still back in the day where any blood you had to clean it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And he
saying.
just shoves
They
himself
stopped
like,
the
"Fuck
match.
off."
Yeah. Stephanie was in the front row because I was there. I was in Dallas for that, and I remember Stephanie was in the front row there, and it was like right in front of her while that shit was going down. Well, the ref, he got out of the ring. He was pissed off and all that shit. Yeah. So I'm glad they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. I don't know who's gonna fight Rhea at this point. I mean, it's gonna be.
I really hope it's not Liv. Because like they need
Oh
to be,
my
they
God,
need to
no.
be done with that story.
No,
but
that
she's
would be-
in the elimination
I
chamber,
know.
so it's like
we got Liv,
possible.
Alexa Bliss,
Bailey.
and Bailey.
Bailey.
Are the three in so far?
I think
think so. I think
Bailey
there's
was the
only
only one
three
who
on the
qualified
side.
last
Yeah.
night, right? I'm not misremembering.
Yes, because Alexa
She beat-
qualified
she
past,
beat,
this past Friday.
Right. She was
Lyra.
the only one on Friday.
Yes.
And Liv did it last Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, because
Yeah,
Lyra.
because that's where the Rhea.
Right, then
Io
Lyra
goes
and
Lost
Bailey
to
had
Bailey.
another great
Yep.
match.
Another
That
great
was a- that
match,
was a
yeah.
really good match.
The women showed out.
They
This
did.
week.
did.
They were back-to-back matches.
Yeah.
They gave them
Yeah.
time. That
And
was
I'm even
nice.
excited moving forward. Ivy Nile and Lyra could be
Yeah,
fun
that
as
should be
well.
really
like
good.
there's some good stuff there.
Could also be a Mania match.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So Ivy Nile came out and teased that was backstage, right?
That was
Where they
backstage,
teased that little promo.
Shout out to Maxine.
That'll be good. Shout out to Maxine always. No, there was some good shit. There was some good mid-card shit. Like things like where you're teasing, you're setting some things up. Even when AJ Styles came out, and him and Dom had their moment, but also backstage with Braun Breaker.
Yep. Another match I think is now going to be a Mania match.
That would be sick. I'm in on that.
Sign me up.
Because you give Styles if you don't have room for him for the main title yet, I think he deserves one more.
I agree.
And also think from the standpoint of you're putting Braun with the belt on Mania for the first time.
Yep.
You're putting probably the best, safest, smartest, most savvy veteran with him. It's going to be a great match.
Yeah,
it's going to be so good.
It's going to be so good. Yeah, I hope that's the Mania match. So hopefully they're teasing that. But I'm also kind of excited for this little AJ and Dom.
Yeah.
Little back and forth and I do like that he acknowledged how hard Dom works. Through all the boos, the heat, supposed to be putting him down, right? His face heel moment, whatever, your Ray's little punk ass son. But he did put in and say, hey man, I'm seeing what you're doing. I know you're here every day. You're putting in the work, but you're still always gonna be Ray's little punk ass son. That was great. But AJ Styles looks yoked up.
That's great, man.
I'm excited for this last couple years of him.
He looks no different today than when he debuted at the Rumble.
No, if anything, he looks bigger
right?
now.
16.
No, he's
16.
bigger now, dude.
But just in terms of his face, aging, you
his
could
hair's
tell,
longer now.
Yeah, but you could tell he takes such great care of himself,
Yeah.
man. The dude does not look any different 9 years later.
He does need to cut his hair though.
It's
It's
long.
too long.
It's
He
long.
can't pull off long hair. In
Who
my
was
opinion.
doing the soccer mom thing with him?
Jericho.
Jericho.
Was it Jericho?
I think
Not-
it was
I thought that
Jericho
was
and
Cena.
Owens. Was Jericho and Owens at the time?
I thought Cena was the one that was saying he had
Was
the
it
soccer
Cena?
mom
I
haircut.
thought it was Jericho.
During their SummerSlam.
Yeah,
feud.
Maybe
man,
that was a great
fun.
feud.
That was fun.
It was a
time.
great
That was
feud.
a fun time.
That was a unexpectedly great feud.
Yeah, I got to see them battle at Rumble. That was a great match.
Such a good match.
So then
That
on the
Rumble
men's
match
side,
is so good.
the men's side for the Chamber so far, we have Punk,
Cena. No, Sammy lost to Punk. Logan, because he won
Logan
last
Paul
night.
won last night.
And
Just one more.
yeah, there is one more, and I can't
Drew?
remember who it is. Yeah, Drew.
Drew, right?
Yeah.
Drew already got qualified.
Yeah, because Punk said in his promo last night, he's only
Yep.
the three guys.
And now
two guys
Rollins-
were
Two guys
qualified.
qualified, yeah.
One didn't, and then went to
Rollins
cut
is
the promo
fighting
on Cena.
Finn next week.
Yep.
Rollins will probably
Rollins
win.
will
Rollins is
win.
going to win that. And then Friday, do they announce?
That's
Did they
No,
five.
I don't think they've announced who the sixth could be. What the
what the matchups are.
What the
No, yeah, I
matchups
don't
are going to
know.
be, whatever.
Because that's why I kept thinking they'll do even for
Oh,
the
for
men
Yo?
and the women they'll do a last chance.
Yeah, I wonder
for all
who
the
would
women
it be?
that
Would
lost.
it be like Priest and LA Knight? What?
Well, now
I
they're
don't
teasing
know.
the Priest and Drew thing,
Yeah.
too.
Right?
Which-
Because allegedly that's going to be the Mania match.
That'd be sick.
Also, that's
That'd be-
another
would be
thing
sick.
that big, and maybe it was a work, maybe it was a shoot. Who knows? It sounded like it was a shoot. The McIntyre thing, being frustrated.
Oh, yeah. Well, LA Knight.
Am I the only one who thinks Drew McIntyre is at fault for that? You have no more entrance. You
Yeah.
clearly see him in front of you about to do something. You rush your move and then get mad at him because he got in the way of you being eliminated. I just don't get that. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
I think.
And I
it's-
absolutely loved LA Knight's response. Last
Yeah, yeah,
week.
that
I
was
fucking
great.
loved
I
it.
agree.
Oh, I forgot to get my shit in.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
god.
But
was
I think
great.
that's Drew's point
Popped
of
me so good.
you weren't supposed to do that yet. I'm supposed to get eliminated first.
Maybe.
Follow the fucking order. It's
100%.
Drew's
But also,
point of
in the
thinking, I
moment,
think.
you saw him standing there. So why are you still starting the movement? Yeah. But if it gives, and granted, obviously the way they eliminated him, it looks like Priest and Drew, but that could be another fun one. And even just that comment last week was fun. And
Yeah.
then Drew laughing it, and then them getting in there and looking like they shot for a minute. It was fun.
Yeah. I mean,
It could
even
even
that.
lead to a triple threat at
Yeah.
Mania.
I was going to say, because
That'll be
what is
one of
LA
two triple threats
Yep.
on Mania.
what is LA Knight doing? So
Right.
he could easily be involved in that feud too, because they could go back and forth on the microphone. They can go in the ring.
Yep.
So yeah, things are starting to
And
shape
also,
up.
again, I think that's another thing we need to be thinking about too. Is even though we got a 2-night Mania, the rosters are so stacked. We're gonna have to have a couple triple threats. We're
Yeah.
gonna have
Oh,
a couple
yeah.
of those matches to get everyone a chance.
I mean, especially after the Royal Rumble, we're totally getting at least 6-person tag team ladder match for the titles.
Yep.
If not
Oh,
another
yeah,
tag
yeah,
team.
yeah,
Proper
yeah,
Machine Guns, DIY, Pretty
Possibly,
Deadly.
yeah. So it could be 4-team.
I think-
So 8-person ladder
I think
match.
we get those 4 teams.
Yeah.
I love the way the Profits came back too. That was fun.
Yeah, that was good.
That was
Thank
fun.
God.
A little
Yeah.
different.
I didn't like the match, the tag,
That they
title
disrupted?
match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been better had they not made it 2 to 3 falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the first 2 falls, you always just lose
Yeah,
the drama.
and you
in
kinda
it.
know
what's-
you
yeah,
know
you know
it's gonna
exactly
go to a
what's
third
gonna
fall.
happen.
Yeah.
You're never gonna have a match only go 2 falls.
Imagine.
It's just never gonna happen.
But I feel like it had that.
Has it ever
That-
happened?
But that would.
I think there was one. I think there was one.
That would've been pretty dope.
Somebody won 2-0.
Why not just pin them back to back, right away?
crazy.
Knock their ass out.
It's just dumb.
Yeah. Kayfabe, got to suspend belief.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So now, I mean, you standing with Cena,
I
Cody?
do still think it's
Yeah?
going to be Cena Cody. Because I think it's going to be Punk Rollins Reigns as the main event of the other night.
I know they've been teasing that.
Especially after what happened at the end with them at the Rumble.
The Rumble,
how do you
yeah.
not
It's gotta
then
be
make
that.
the
Maybe
triple
that
threat?
plants the seed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
think
mean, I'm a
that's
little
where
bit
we're going.
more. I still think it's the wrong move. I still think it should be Punk Cody. Personally,
I agree. It's what I would rather
I'd
see.
prefer
I think
that.
that's your bigger.
But
I think that's your
it's
bigger match.
cemented at this
Right.
point. And I remember saying like, oh, Cena, no, elimination chamber, which is going to happen. But I still, and I guess I was taking it for granted. I was like, oh fuck, I don't want that. I don't.
Right.
And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I guess my thing is, you think Cena wins that?
I do think he wins it.
I don't think he wins that.
I get it.
But also,
I don't think he's.
But
gonna
also,
win it.
I don't think he does either. I
he's
don't
gonna
think
win
he
it.
wins at Mania. But
I think he does the job. I think he does the job.
I absolutely get where you're coming from. I just think they like the idea of Cena
I get
breaking
it.
the record
I mean,
in Mania.
on Mania, right?
Exactly. It's a
The
big
biggest
moment
WrestleMania ever.
that they can then
Yeah, 100%.
replay like 1,000 times
Checks
when they do
all the
WrestleMania highlights.
Yep.
And he's going to be there for the rest of the year, so he could drop it the next night, even if they wanted him to.
And
so.
I think that's why, and 100%, it makes total sense. Like no one would be able to disagree with that with any conventional wisdom watching wrestling. I think for that same reason of him being around for a long time is why you don't need to put the
I
belt on
agree.
him now.
I agree
You
they
do
don't
the
need
job.
to.
You fully cement Cody in that legendary status.
Yeah.
By beating Cena, going over, then Cody leaves the ring. Cena has his moment, gets that final pop, but also he can say he went out doing the job, which he's basically showed over his whole career he's willing to do. And then you have between April until the end of the year to put the belt on him and turn around within a few weeks or a month and drop it again. I think there's so much
And
time
then
to do it.
let's start putting the
So much
title on
time to
people
do it.
quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
that's-
that could be
yeah,
your
that'd
trigger
be a
of doing
transition
that.
to
I think
that,
that could be your
'cause
trigger
I think
of doing
that's
that.
where Cena starts that.
Yeah,
attitude.
I agree with that.
Cena's
That I
going to
agree
win
with.
it, and he's not going to hold
Yep.
it long.
I agree with
At
that.
most a month.
It could be a night. It could be
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
agree
think
with
it's anything
that.
more than a month.
I don't think he holds it for long, and I think from there you might see title changes quicker, hopefully, because these long reigns were cool for a little bit, but now, no pun intended, but now it's getting a little like stale. you
And
know?
we're all smart enough, and not just as smart monsters,
Like,
but
don't
as
just
wrestling
build-
fans,
yeah.
we're all smart enough to know if Cena wins the belt, he's not going to carry for long. We know
Exactly.
what it's going to look like,
Yeah.
however it's dropped, and we know they're going to do it the right way. I have confidence, but I don't think anyone's going to be like, "You had it for a week. What are you doing?" Like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Like
Right.
that was going to happen.
Like everybody, don't forget his 16th title reign. He wins it at the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble and drops it like 2 weeks
Yup.
later at
Yup.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So like he's known for having short reigns. The dude's won the I looked this up the other day. He's won the WWE title 11 times, and he's only held it for a combined 1,100 days.
Less
Oh my
than
God.
And he
Roman.
had-
Less
and
than
one of
Roman's
those-
one reign.
Yeah. And one of those was a full year,
Yep.
which means some of them are short as fuck.
Yeah. Which they need to go back to because to me it makes things less predictable, more fun.
They need to go back to title changes on random.
Yes.
Raw, yeah.
Like I don't want it to always be Mania or always
Or
be
even a Raw.
SummerSlam.
Give me a Raw.
Yeah.
Give me a SmackDown.
I
Give
don't
me
remember
something.
growing up champion lasting more than one pay-per-view.
No, I feel like every
That was-
Raw somebody wanted
Yeah.
to drop the belt.
Yeah,
That
like,
was the pop ratings, though.
Yeah,
No,
I
it
think that
was.
was the big thing then.
But
But
even
even
big
there's no
views.
middle ground, and I think similar to back then, the roster was so loaded. The roster's so loaded now that
Right.
it makes sense because you might look at Jey Uso. You might get someone who you give a little something and they take it and run with. You're like, holy shit, we didn't realize what we had. We knew we had something good, but now we've put them at that next level and they've just fucking knocked it out the
The
park.
problem is they still do that, but with the belts that don't
yeah,
aren't
it doesn't
as
matter much.
impactful. Dude.
Yep.
Like Braun Breaker dropped the IC title to Jey Uso
Yeah.
on
Yes.
an episode of Raw,
Yep.
won it back on an episode of Raw, but it's the IC title.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel as big had Cody dropped it on Raw,
Right.
for example.
yeah.
Cody shouldn't. His reign should end on a PLE because of where he is.
It should.
But once that happens, have it drop
then
on
just have
Raw.
it bounce around
And that
have
could be
everybody more.
SummerSlam. Like, there's so many options, you know.
However, don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Don't go full attitude era because that was too much.
It was OD, yeah.
But
But
you got to find the
And
healthy
I don't think they
middle
will. I
ground.
think,
But
yeah,
I
I
did
think
kinda
they'll find
like-
a happy medium.
I did kind of like the rivalries that it would go back and forth between
Yeah.
like Rock and Triple H, like them going back and forth like almost
Programs,
every
man.
other
I miss
month.
programs in wrestling.
Like that to me is like okay, it's like two titans going at it, changing hands with the title. That to me is pretty cool, as opposed to like knowing, all right, this dude ain't gonna lose until Mania. You know that shit. That
Right.
to me is like old. Like, we've gotten that the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
You know where it's like okay,
And that's because 6 of those years was Roman.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
But even before that was
No, I
Brock
know,
Lesnar.
right, yeah.
You know now it's Cody. So it's like we don't need that anymore. You have so many guys that are capable of being your champion in your face of your company for a couple of months.
Right.
That you could have it change hands quicker.
Right.
That's just what I'm hoping is going to happen after this
And it's
upcoming
just so good
WrestleMania.
for business. Like think of potential like free agents who see the business like, wow, I can go there and I can actually get a run. Right?
Yeah.
They might give me a run. They're
Right.
not just going to bury me at the back. Like it just for business purposes, it works all around.
I will say, to your point about having Cena wait, one thing I'm fearful of, and I don't think it will happen because this doesn't feel like Triple H or Cena's way of thinking, But one thing I'm fearful of is Cena Cody Mania. Cody does win, and Cena doesn't win it till his last match, and then vacates it.
No.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's like the worst case scenario, and I don't
happen.
think it's going to happen. But there's this small part of my brain that's like, what if they do that?
That would be.
That's
I
something
thought you were
Vince
going
would
to
do.
say
Right,
he
that
doesn't
is.
drop it at Mania, and then God forbid he gets hurt. And then
Well,
we
that's
never get
also
it.
unfortunate, yeah.
Right? That's what can you do about that?
Right.
But yeah, no, I think there's fucking a catastrophe would have to hit in order for that to happen. And I think again, that's why you have time. You have
Right.
time. I'm still really kind of holding out hope that there's going to be a PLE in Boston at some point, and either that's when he can win it, or that's when he has it and defends it for the one time he probably defends it. But there's time. There's time, and I think I really do think Cody's going to win. I really, really do think John is going to do the job for him.
I hope you're right, but
or
I'm not seeing it.
Or
Brock Lesnar.
Punk wins against Cody, and then Cena takes it off of Punk.
That's cool too.
I just
That's great. I
'Cause
just
now
don't.
with-
I just don't. After fucking Cena's promo at the Rumble, I just don't know
But you're not-
how.
After the Seth Cody Roman
Yeah.
3-way beatdown thing, I just don't see them not facing each other. at
what's
Mania.
the stipulation of that match though? Because that's going to have to main event night one.
Yeah, it's going to main event night
The
one.
triple threat.
But that's it.
No, just be a triple threat match.
Yeah, I think it's just triple threat.
I don't know.
think maybe, and I don't know.
I don't think
how
people will
this-
care enough.
I don't know
They
how this
absolute-
comes
those
into
three
play.
people will absolutely
Yeah,
care
I
enough.
think so.
There has
Just
to be a
because of the bad
stipulation, though.
blood.
Why?
Because it's just, when was the last time there was a main event that didn't have a stipulation?
Undertaker versus Roman Reigns at 33. They
Yeah,
just
but,
had a match.
but it was a career match.
It wasn't a career match. Undertaker just took all his stuff off. We did not know going into
But
that
it's
that
also
if he
Undertaker.
lost,
Like you're
he
talking
wasn't
about like
gonna
a
lose.
special event. Like
It's
he's
Roman Reigns. It's CM Punk. Those are main event
I think
level
so.
guys.
And
I
also
think you could just do
I don't
the
know.
I think
match.
too the business is in a little different place too, where like I don't know that there has to be. I think people are gonna be like, holy shit, we get the Mania match, not the Mania match. We get a Mania match between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Then
Right.
you throw CM Punk in there, who I wanted, I still want Rollins and Punk. You just kind of throw all that. You go Heyman there. You might still have the favor in play. Maybe that comes in somehow. I would like to think it would happen beforehand, but I don't know how.
I just don't
Favor's
think
gonna
it
lead
happens.
to Mania. I
That's
think.
what I'm thinking. But I think just those three names enough is just like, yeah, fucking
I mean,
sign me up for that.
Cody and
know.
Austin didn't have a stipulation that main evented.
Owens.
and
I mean, sorry,
Oh, yeah.
Owens and
Again, you're
Austin.
talking about
I was in a
Undertaker.
coma for that. Whoa.
You're talking about Undertaker, who is literally WrestleMania, right?
Right.
And then you're talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin, who hadn't wrestled in 19 years. I mean, there's a big difference between that.
CM Punk, like arguably the biggest guy in wrestling right now.
But for him,
Roman Reigns, the guy who just held the title for 1,300 days.
So when you say main eventing WrestleMania, if I'm CM Punk, I don't think just having the main event of night one of WrestleMania counts in his mind. I just
it
know
does.
how I can just picture how he thinks. I think he's going to want to win a title, and it's going to be Sunday night. I think he's going to.
I agree with you, Mike. I absolutely agree that that's probably not what he wants. But what can he really say at this point to
Right.
not get that? Like
They brought
what
him
is
back
the-
for a
what is
reason.
what is the argument? Is the argument that okay, Cody and Cena, if that ends up being you're going to supersede that? I think you can even argue, and especially to someone like Punk, who's a man of the business, you can say, well, Jey
Is
Uso
he a
and
man of the
Gunther.
business?
Well, in his own way.
Yeah.
Actually,
Man of his
in his own
business.
way.
Yeah, his business.
Yeah. Well, hey, he's here to make money, not friends. But I think even in some ways you could be like, well, actually, no, it should be Jey and Gunther because he won the fucking Rumble, and that's who always main events. So I don't think that's gonna happen. I think this one does supersede Jey and Gunther, but I think Punk would be okay with it. Certainly not what he wants. And I think in the back of his eyes, he's like, oh, cool, I'll take this shit this year, but next year I'm winning the fucking title.
There's got to be a
defending it.
stipulation, though.
But
There's got to be a stipulation. It has to be if CM Punk loses, he retires.
I just think there's Heyman
That's
in the mix
to
and
me,
those
that's
guys in
too
the
gimmicky,
mix.
though, because now you know Punk's gonna win. Where like, where if it's
Or
just
it's
a triple
maybe
threat,
not
you
that
don't even know who's
specifically,
gonna win.
Yeah, but to me, then like, okay, you win. So what are we celebrating?
Well,
Like,
now
we
now
get
you
a
have
banger.
you just won a main event of WrestleMania. Now you can go cut the promo that you're next in
Yeah,
line. to
and
do
also
the
the
what
way
if
it
he
ends,
loses?
right? Like say someone goes to spear someone as a false this, someone kicks someone. Like that's how you can set it up too. Be like, you fucked me. I just lost this triple threat. Now it's me and you. I think with those three players, I think to your point, Nick, of conventionally, I don't know that it would work, but I think you got those three guys. three
CM
of
Punk's
the
back
best
to be
ever.
a champion. They're using.
No, he's back to main event WrestleMania. He's literally said that.
But he's
back to make money. Actually,
He's
that's
back to
literally what
make
he
money,
said.
but he's back to main event WrestleMania and to win a title, to win the championship.
I
at
honestly don't think he
WrestleMania.
gives a shit about the title. He wants the main event Mania.
I
and
think he
that's
does.
it.
I do. I think he
does.
does, but I think at this point, again, like not to be a dick, but it's just like if he goes to Triple H and makes his point, Triple H's gonna be like, no, sorry.
Well,
Like
my other thing is-
all the other chips we
Here's
have
my
on the
other thing.
table can supersede this.
CM Punk also understands that. I mean, realistically, the title's just a prop. Like it's not.
I mean,
It
well,
doesn't
that's
necessarily
opening
mean
a can of
anything,
worms.
But I'm just saying though,
I know,
like
it's
that's
not a
what-
prop.
That's how CM Punk understands that. They're like, yes, it's great to have that, especially when business is hot, but it's not the be all end all.
Yeah,
Roddy Piper never held a title, and never held the world title, and He's one of the biggest stars ever.
I think Phil Brooks knows that. I think to your point, I don't know. CM Punk knows that, but what can he do about it? Unless there is a literal written stipulation in the contract, which I don't think they would have gone to that length. Maybe. I think that's the thing where they're like, listen, Phil, we get it. But and granted, I still want Punk Cody, so like I prefer that. But I think that ship has sailed. So I think they're like, listen, I don't know. I kind of think that it was Cena's promo after the Rumble that made it shit sail for me. Had he just didn't cut that promo, either got in a qualifying match or somehow was gifted that role without saying what he said, I would think this is still wide open. But I don't think it's wide open.
So you think Cena's winning Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, I think Cena's winning Elimination
It
Chamber.
would take a lot from me to see in the next month to not think that's happening at this point.
If Punk wins the Elimination Chamber like you think is going to happen, how do you then make his involvement in the brawl after the Royal Rumble make sense? Like, why would he get involved in that then? Why was he part of that at all?
I mean, there's bad blood there in general.
But he could easily just walked away.
Because him and Rollins hate each other. Not really.
I think you could validate that.
But you could easily validate that because it's like,
might take a little dancing, but I think you could get that.
I just feel like it's going to be a stretch.
Just because he's also seeing Punk and like Rollins being there alone, Reigns is still there. So I think even if Rollins is curbside Reigns, the next thing going through his head is like, cool, now I'm going to catch Rollins when he's not looking. I think
why
you can
have
still
that
make
moment
that
between Cody and Punk in the ring that you had 2 weeks ago before the
They
Rumble?
did it last year, and they were never going to face each other last year.
Well, he was hurt.
But the plan was never for them to face each other. The plan was always Punk Rollins last year at Mania, and before the Royal Rumble, they cut almost that exact same promo of I'm going to stab you in the face.
Yeah. But I think it's a little bit different. They're in a different point now where like you've had a year of
I think it was just a callback.
I don't think it was never going to happen anyways because first of all, Cody wasn't even the champion this time last year.
Right, but I'm just saying that was the thing. Like they had a whole big face-to-face last year before the Rumble that they then had again this year. I think it was just to be a callback to last year and to show unpredictability of like, hey, it could be anybody that wins the Rumble.
The difference between last year and this year is Punk was saying that because you're not getting in my way of getting in the main event at WrestleMania.
Right.
And now he's like, you are the main event at WrestleMania, so now I'm going to do it to get to you. That's the difference. That's really the difference between... So yes, they're doing the same thing, but this time it's like, hey, instead of me having to go through you, now I'm going to get to you.
They're in different points. I get that, but I'm saying they weren't doing it because that's what's going to happen in Mania. They're doing it to call back to last year and to show, hey, it could be anybody that wins the Royal Rumble.
I don't know.
It's not so
That's
predictable.
so
I mean, look at this. It could easily be Punk.
Specific. If I didn't remember that, I think that's super specific.
But I do think they are purposely throwing some... I mean, Jey Uso won the Rumble. Nobody expected that,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So I do think they are purposely throwing something out there to throw people off so it isn't the most predictable thing. But I do, for me, again, it's that Cena promo I can't... If he didn't cut that promo, I'd go in the Elimination Chamber like, Punk could win this.
Yeah, but why... I don't know. I just have so many...
Because then also, if you do Punk and Cody, what do you have Cena do in his last ever WrestleMania?
There's something out there he could be doing. He could do... It doesn't matter what it is. But
it also has to be at the level of John Cena's last ever WrestleMania. It's not just another WrestleMania for John Cena. This is his last ever
I think
Mania.
that's where I'm with Mike, because we talked about that a little bit last week, where I'm like, Cena could go on fight Solo Sikoa again, and I think, right, maybe that's a stretch, but like, it's also John Cena. I think John Cena will make the moment. The crowd will make that moment with him. I don't think he has to necessarily be fighting for a belt. That's part of the reason why I prefer Punk and Cody, because I thought that's better anyway. And I also think that similar to why I think he's gonna have Cody go over on him is I don't know that I think just the moment, like similar to the Rumble, like soaking that in, having that moment. I think that for him, that's all he really needs at this point. He knows damn well he's going to get this 16th title. So I think he's like, all right, I'm going to get this. Whatever you guys got to do to make the business be healthy and be in the best spot wherever so I don't derail it. Because I also think he's seen the Lesnar's coming back in and just fucking all the storylines up. Rock last year. I think he's seen that, and I think he wants to make it very clear, I'm not that kind of guy. Business first. That's why I'm the GOAT, et cetera, et cetera.
But I also think... Had we not known this was going to be his last one ever, I think you could do anything with Cena and it feels fine. But being the last one he's ever going to do, you feel like it has to be a big Mania match for Cena.
That's fair. It's fair.
It's
That's
arguably the
fair.
biggest star they've ever had.
Yeah.
Like
Homegrown.
Right, and homegrown star. You can't just have him wrestle Austin Theory again. Which also allegedly wasn't even the original plan for the match. Originally, when they thought The Rock was going to do 39, it was going to be Cody Cena at 39. And then The Rock couldn't do it because he had filming, so then they pivoted to Cody Roman. That's also why Cody lost, because there was never the plan for him to win, because he wasn't supposed to be in the match originally. Allegedly.
I think that gives me not but I think that makes me think why next year CM Punk's year. I think this is the year where he goes
in main events.
He goes in main events in Mania, whatever.
But then you got to do another how long of CM Punk? I don't know if he has 3 years left.
No, next
I mean,
year. Next year. I think it would have to culminate next year again. And for the injuries and all the shit, like he is on borrowed time. I think he tells us that every fucking time he's out there. But I think that could be some of the thinking. He's not doing it another year. Because I think that gives him a perfect storyline. Like, okay, I'm main evented, but I want the fucking title. I'm not leaving until I get the title. This is now my story. I got to finish. Is it the smartest thing? I don't know. Yeah. But I think that could be the workaround.
Maybe. I mean, I'm consistently playing devil's advocate, but it's also truly what I think is right and what I believe.
I want. I just Punk don't. And Cody. I do. I don't see it being Cena and Cody, and I know that's what the internet is saying. I know people, but I think that's what you want you to think is going to happen. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think it would be so cheap. You've built Punk up since his return, a dramatic return a year and a half ago. He was injured. He had his whole program with Drew McIntyre, and then he came back, and now he's been teasing the shit with Cody and winning the Rumble, and he's been pointing at the sign every fucking week, not to just be in a triple threat match in night one of the main event. For a match that means nothing. I just don't see it happening that way. And with Cena, it doesn't matter because he's not even full time. You could literally put him on anything on WrestleMania and then have him win the title from a CM Punk or somebody else at a different PLE and have him drop it at, MetLife or in Boston somewhere or something like that. Like, I just don't think it's the right moment for that. I just don't think so. I agree.
Think it's stupid.
And I think that's why I keep coming back to that promo, because if he doesn't now win the Elimination Chamber, what the fuck does John Cena look like?
Well, he continues to get the beat down, and maybe this is the heel turn we've been waiting for. Maybe he just continuously
They're not going to have Cena turn heel in his last.
Maybe not. I'd love it, but I'm
saying he's going to be his face. He's going to be 80s Hogan white meat babyface this whole
So
run.
he loses at the Royal Rumble, cuts that promo, and then he disappears. He says, "Yeah, I have to go film some shit," and then he shows up at Elimination Chamber and wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. I think
it's not going to happen. I'm telling you, it's not.
And again, if he doesn't cut that promo, I don't think so. But I think the people are going to be like, why do you have him do that? First, it was the Rumble. This is his second chance. He could have came back and been around and all that. And then now it's a second one.
You guys never seen a slow burn and act like you're wrestling fans?
No. And
you got a year of Cena. What happens if he wins at WrestleMania? You're going to put him, like, he can't do full time.
No, I agree. I'm with you 99.9%. It's literally that one promo and the way he cut it and exactly the things he said after
he has a whole year to do that.
Where I'm like, I think.
But he has a whole year to do it.
Yeah. So do you at least agree he's probably going to win the title at some point this year?
At some point this year, yes. Right. Not at WrestleMania.
Definitely.
So
there's no way WWE lets their homegrown star walk away without becoming the all-time title. It just doesn't happen.
Right. And wouldn't you want to replay that every year at, I don't know, WrestleMania, your biggest thing ever? You have this thing that happened at this show in the past, and now you're overthinking it.
Yes.
You're overthinking it.
But I don't think he wins at Mania, so maybe not.
No, but you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it.
I don't think I am.
When was the last time they showed Daniel Bryan?
He's not with the company anymore.
That's my point. So, but it's like.
But John Cena's not going to go work for a rival company. He's going to be like a trainer or sign some legend deal. He's not going to go work for AEW.
What if he says some reckless shit on Twitter? They're not doing shit just for like the promo package of WrestleMania. I promise you. They're not. No, they're not.
Cena, I can see again just because
they're not doing it for the promo package, man. Come on. They don't need to do that shit anymore. I'm telling you. Like,
then why have Cody finish his story at Mania? Why not have him?
It took him 2 years.
Only because he wasn't supposed to wrestle at 39.
What do you mean wasn't supposed to wrestle?
Like, it wasn't supposed to be him and Roman at 39. So like that story doesn't feel like it takes it. It feels like a natural story if he doesn't have that.
But also remember too, he wasn't supposed to finish the story last year. If Cody Crybabies didn't do what they did, it was supposed to be Roman. It wasn't gonna happen. Yeah. It was, and granted, we all know that was the right move, is what they did, but that's not what they were gonna do. So I don't know.
Well, it was, and then wasn't, and then was again.
I mean,
like, so it was what they were gonna do, and then The Rock was like, "No, maybe we don't do that."
Yeah, The Rock just can't walk in and fucking like just threw his dick on the fucking conference room table. Like, 100%. But fucking thank God it didn't go the way it did. But they were fucking ready to go down that road. They were.
I'm gonna stand by my statement.
This is good. This gives us a lot of good shit to talk about the next month, guys. It does. A lot of good shit. A lot of ways this can go.
I think that you have to have a slow burn with Cena. If you have him show up just at the Royal Rumble, lose dramatically, cut that promo, and then he just shows up at Elimination Chamber and wins, that to me is stupid.
And remember, we are going to see him 3 to 4 times a month after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So it's going to ramp the fuck up in terms of what we see him.
Whenever he's done filming, because it might be a little bit after Elimination Chamber.
So I remember them show. I remember seeing it in writing somewhere, like the amount of dates. Like, he's going to be there a lot. So there is a lot of opportunities to get what you need, and I think that's part of the reason why, again, I don't think he wins the belt.
What about Cena versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania?
No thanks.
Maybe Logan Paul screws him over in the chamber.
And that's the type of match
That's not a draw?
That absolutely not.
Cena against Logan Paul's not a draw. Logan Paul's gonna be at WrestleMania.
Cena versus Logan Paul.
Who else is Logan Paul gonna fight?
I don't either.
Probably teaming with the New Day to take
mark-
on Rey Mysterio and some LWO.
That'd be
shit.
stupid. He ain't doing that.
I mean, look at what he's been doing on.
Throw Gable
Raw
in there.
these
We can
whole
have an
weeks.
8-man.
He just smashed Rey Mysterio to get into the elimination chamber. It's not like he's being thrown into
Can we
six-man
do that?
tags.
Can we have an 8-man tag where we have Gable, Paul, the New Day, and a lot of their Crusaders, these Lucha Libre guys.
Logan Paul's
so you
not
give
being
me
thrown into
Ray,
a tag
you give me
team
2
match.
others, and then Bad Bunny pops up as their 4th.
That would be dope.
Sign me the fuck
Logan
up for
Paul is
that.
not getting. Logan Paul is going to have his own match at WrestleMania. He
Yeah.
is the face of Netflix.
Yes.
He is on Raw every week.
Oh,
you think they're paying his
the
ass?
masses, not for me, not for you.
It's
but
what
for
it's
the masses,
it's the facts.
He is that guy.
And guess what? If he fought John Cena, you don't like it, but that's making you money. That's getting eyes.
I could totally see that being similar. Like we mentioned, Solo. I could totally see that being a match in marketing and all that. 100%. I think at this point, I think that ship has sailed. But I could have absolutely seen that being his Mania match.
I think it still could be. Maybe he
That's
screws him
like-
over in the chamber.
That's like a last year John Cena Mania match, not John Cena's last ever Mania match.
I don't think his Mania match is going to have as big of a because you still have the rest of the year with him. That's my point. Is like you have to build to him earning something, not just giving it to him in 2 months. And then what? He's the champion and doesn't show up for 3 months.
I mean, by that same, granted, he ended up losing in WrestleMania, which I could see still happening with Cena. But Cody's injured, shows up at the Royal Rumble, and then wins the Royal Rumble. He didn't qualify. He didn't do any of that shit.
Yeah, but it's cool. Like,
Came back
he
from
was
injury.
hurt. Yeah, he's expected to be there full time, and he's there full time. He's at every house show.
Right.
He's done all that. Cena has not.
Cena's going to be there full time.
That's what they say,
Allegedly,
yeah,
once
that's
he
what they
comes
say.
back. Again, allegedly. I mean, I don't know what his schedule is.
I don't know.
And he's John fucking Cena.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like, you can dislike the guy, that's fine.
No, I
but
love John
I'm not
Cena,
Saying, I'm not
yeah,
saying you.
yeah.
I don't mean you. I just mean in general. Like, people can dislike the
Yeah.
guy, but you cannot deny the fact that he's arguably the biggest star they've ever
The
had.
reason why they call him the GOAT, man.
Exactly.
Just all the boxes.
Not my
He
goat.
checks. Not any of
my-
our
no.
goats. Any of, but he checks all the boxes,
Exactly.
which you can understand why.
He makes them a shit ton of money.
yeah.
Even still.
Yep.
yeah.
He literally
you
kept
think
that
he's-
company afloat.
You think he's
for
making
years.
them more money right now than Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Logan Paul?
Well, no, only because
Maybe
they,
Logan Paul,
only
but-
'cause they overcharge everybody now.
No, but I'm saying like in general. Like
Just
merch-
broke a new gate
like-
record.
Exactly, yeah.
Like
if
merch
you
sales.
charge 2008 prices
Yeah,
now,
oh,
I
yeah.
bet John Cena made more money then than they do now.
I'm not saying now. I'm not comparing him.
all time he's a
I'm
bigger
saying right
star.
now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about right now.
well, right now, no.
Exactly. So they're focused on right now. Like you give John Cena his swan song. You don't need to give him it all. This isn't. You're not.
First of all, well, I just remembered the name you just said. He is absolutely outselling Logan Paul.
Yeah, well,
merch
No,
wise.
no, I
Yeah,
know. I said that. I said maybe
Mike
Logan
got a
Paul.
little over skis
Yeah,
on
I
that one.
got a
He
little
knew
crazy.
it.
I got a little crazy there, but yes,
He had a
definitely.
prime
yeah.
before we started.
But
I mean, he's out. I guarantee you, he's probably outselling Gunther, who's a world champion
Oh,
right
absolutely.
yeah, but Gunther is also has the Timu title.
Yeah.
So no one
Just saying.
we
Yeah.
are as a podcast, and we love Gunther.
I
But
love
we
Yeah,
love fucking outselling him.
Shout
It's just-
out to Gunther. We love
Yeah,
him and
poor
everything,
guy
but he's
has-
got the worker man's
yeah,
title.
he
Nobody
gotta-
gives, he's not. They're not bringing
shit
eyes.
end of the stick. Yeah.
I don't know. I just to me, it's just
We'll
just
see,
seems
man.
so
The other
stupid.
thing is,
We'll see. There's a lot of good
even-
shit coming.
Even still now, kids love John Cena.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they like to make kids happy. Even
Yeah.
Triple H likes to make kids happy.
Yeah.
That's not
That's
just
why
a
Jey
Vince
Uso
thing.
won the Rumble.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think
I don't know.
I think he ultimately fights Cody, and I think Cody wins. But if I had it my way, he probably would be in a Logan Paul type match because I do think there's a lot of time. But again, I to your point, I don't think they'll do that to him at this point. But I don't know. There's a lot of fucking ways it can go, man.
Your champion,
A lot of ways it can
that
go.
is on the road 7 days a week,
How often was
365
Brock
days a year.
Lesnar on the road when he was champion?
But it's Brock Lesnar. It's different.
This is John Cena. John
Name
Cena's bigger
redacted.
than
Name
Brock
redacted.
Lesnar.
Name redacted.
No, but the thing is, the difference between, first of all, you're talking about different time periods, first of all, and you're also talking about two completely different types of superstars. Brock Lesnar was like the dude who never lost, and Cena was too for a long period of time. But when you're talking about Brock Lesnar being like this spectacle, like that was like his thing. John Cena just popping up after losing to fucking
Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa, losing to fucking the
Austin
other dude,
Theory.
Austin Theory. Like it's not like he has this track record where he can't lose, and then now he's just gonna pop up and beat Cody, who hasn't lost in a year, and beat
I have
Roman
seen
Reigns,
a
who
lot
was
of
a
people
champion
say
for
that,
3
though,
years.
that, like he's ate
to me,
shit
it's
for
like
a while, and he's done.
I know
eating shit.
kayfabe now.
I don't know.
Kayfabe is kind of like whatever nowadays, but like you're gonna have your champion that is on the road 24/7, 365, lose to a part-timer who has already lost to 2 people that you were already trying to use him to build up, to then just come over and beat your guy. I don't know. To me, it just sounds stupid. I don't think that's the business anymore. I think that John will get his championship moment. I don't think it will be at WrestleMania. I don't think it should be at WrestleMania. And I think it would be a step down for Cody Rhodes to fight John Cena at WrestleMania.
Oh, it definitely not a step down.
It would be a step down. In this
Definitely not a step down.
At this current state, as the champion and what you did to finish your story, to beat Roman Reigns, who was the longest reigning champion and couldn't be beat, in the Bloodline story and The Rock, and you brought the whole fucking the Bloodline rules and all that shit. And then John Cena's like, DTD, I got some time between this next movie. Let me come fucking beat you at WrestleMania. That's cheap and dumb as hell.
Well, now that's like saying it was a step down for Kevin Owens to wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin because he hadn't shown up in 20 years.
No, it's not, because you're not. Kevin Owens is not your champion. He's not the guy that you're putting on every fucking
but I'm
billboard.
saying, like, Stone Cold and John Cena are on the same exact level.
But John Cena is still fairly active. Stone
Which,
Cold
if
had
anything,
no
then
knees.
puts him above Stone Cold, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
You're talking me into circles, because that is.
In that case, I see what you mean, because like he's more active.
I'm always saying the step down, but it is absolutely not a step down for Cody to wrestle Cena. Whether or not he should lose, that's a perfectly reasonable debate. But
I think it is.
Step down, I think is.
I think at this point, John Cena's career, it is a step down.
I definitely don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I get it. I
mean, from fighting Cody,
I completely. You both feel the way you feel because of how you're approaching the conversation. So it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense because like your argument is built on no, he belongs as much as anyone. Your argument is no, he hasn't been here. There's guys who are more deserving because they've been here every day. So yeah, I get it. I get it from both perspectives. Absolutely.
By the way, I'm not disagreeing that there are guys who are more deserving because they've been there. I agree with what you're saying.
Potentially the GOAT's last run.
Exactly.
I get it. I do.
And like I'd also agree with. I don't want this to happen. Like, I want to make that clear as well. This isn't what I'm hoping happens at WrestleMania. I just don't see it not happening this way.
Be interesting.
It's good. But yeah, we got a lot of twists and turns next month, man. A lot of twists and turns.
I'll have the clips ready to go. For sure.
That's that might be fun. Right. Something fun we can do next week is just draw up a list of like the top stars on both sides, men and women, and what match we think they'll be in at Mania.
Yeah.
Pre-elimination chamber.
Yeah,
that could be fun.
Draft up our 2-night Mania cards.
Yeah. Could be fun.
I think the women's elimination chamber is interesting too, because
I
don't know which direction they're gonna go with that for Rhea.
I saw a little bit about Bianca wins and fights Rhea, and I'm like, sure, I'd love to watch that. But
we still don't know what's gonna happen with Jade.
Yeah, right. I'm saying like what that makes no sense. Alexa Bliss just throwing her Rhea out the gate.
Nah, probably not.
Liv again. We know we all don't want to live
right now. Based on everybody who's in it, it feels like Bailey's to lose.
Yeah, I know.
But it also feels like there's no way Bailey wins.
Love you, Bailey. Don't want that.
Yeah, we don't need that.
I'd rather watch Roxanne at this point. Like,
real.
Speaking of that, I'm excited for that triple threat.
She was front row.
She was.
Monday, yeah. So that'd be interesting.
I'd rather watch Jordan Grace fight Rhea. Like,
it just,
awesome. There's just, I don't.
Who allegedly might be debuting on, at time of recording, tonight's NXT.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, we're recording this on Tuesday.
I don't know if she is or not, but that was.
Apparently, she took a pay cut to go to NXT or WWE.
I read she signed a main roster contract, but they expect her to do a short run in NXT.
Okay.
Which is probably good for her. Just that a reason. They also got the best women's roster in wrestling.
Exactly.
So it's not like it's a step down. That would be crazy. Because I get, she was the top of the top in TNA, but I would think that even that top of the top money compared to WWE's money.
That's what I thought too.
And it's all the same money now.
Again, I mean, it was just a, who knows with the
kudos
online
to her, man. I'm
these
excited
days.
to see her go, man.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see that.
So yeah, interesting time. I mean, it's all just Mania build now. Mania build. It's all
Road
it is.
to Mania,
Setting
man.
up the matches. I like that. We're kind of like the Jay and Gunther. Fuck it. Like let's start this shit now.
And I even love how we leaned it this week. Like Gunther coming out and beating the shit out. I'm like, don't do it, Jay. Don't do it. Loved it because it showed me this kind of vulnerability from Gunther of like, don't do it because I don't want to fight you. Don't do it. Don't do it because I'm gonna beat your ass. Obviously, it's gonna be framed that way. But his face when he was saying it, like it was. I'm excited for this build. So I think similar to last year, Gunther is so good on the mic and everything he was saying is, you're lesser than me. It's gonna be a really, really good build. I think.
Yeah. And instead of the yeet movement, yes movement, you get the yeet movement.
Yeah.
That's what this is basically going to be. That's gonna be a sick visual when he finally wins that. And then in other news, a lot of layoffs this week. Yeah. WWE's parting ways with a lot of superstars. Some that were like,
I think I had
love you, Ali Dawn.
Cedric Alexander, was he on TV recently? Where I was like,
he's on NXT.
Yeah, he had
like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, Ethan Page.
Yeah, and I was like,
on behalf of Javon Evans. Shout out to Javon Evans. Actually went and got braces.
Yeah, well, I think he actually did break his jaw.
Well, he's like 19.
Did he?
I think he.
I don't think
it happened in that match, but I think I thought
I
read he did
I saw the
legitimately break
braces
his jaw,
and you could tell his little
sword.
So I thought he had an injury. I'm like, this guy's leaning into it. I'm like, he just got braces for like 2 months.
No, I think he did legitimately break his jaw.
Yeah.
Ced's gone.
Said feels like such a dropped ball.
Big
He
time.
was so
Him,
good.
Man,
Mustafa
that
Ali.
Yeah.
He was
like
my
that
favorite. That
era.
205 Live era
Yeah,
set was
yeah.
like my favorite guy.
Yeah, they were great.
I always just think back to the Cruiserweight Classic,
Yeah.
the match him and
Yo,
Kota
my
Ibushi
God.
had. So
Oh.
fucking
That
good.
tournament turned into
That title
305
was- I like
live,
that
205
program.
live,
Yeah,
and then it was
man.
like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
how did
They
they
didn't
drop
care.
the
Turned
ball
into speed on
so
Twitter.
bad?
Right.
Yeah,
Nasty.
so sad because they
Right, like they
there's-
can't put the speed title on
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander.
I know.
Mustafa Ali is having the run of his lifetime.
doing
Fucking
great.
indie legend right now. Like, yeah, it's sad.
He's probably going to go be part of the Hurt Syndicate, Cedric Alexander.
Yeah,
Reunite
yes,
with them on
I agree.
AEW
Yeah, true.
in 90 days.
Yeah. Yes.
I
Start the
love it.
countdown.
Right.
I love the
Yeah, sign me up, man, because they did not do them justice in
No,
WWE.
they did not.
I mean Sonya Deville.
That one
They're
was a
not
big
they're not
surprise.
renewing
Yeah.
her contract.
Yeah.
Surprised
Well,
by
maybe
that.
because they gave her the worst
I know.
Gimmick
fucking
name ever.
gimmick
Yeah.
faction
Stable
name
name
of
ever.
Fusion
all
of Pure.
time. Are they keeping it? They better not be. That should be the end of it.
Like, they weren't even on TV this
Yeah.
week.
No, I know,
This is
but
like the first
dead
time in
now.
a while they weren't on
Oh,
TV. That's
God.
what also made it weird is, like, they were constantly being featured.
I know.
So brutal. When they came out at the Rumble, I'm like,
I
they
know,
still.
I know.
It was so bad.
It's a shame.
And then Isla Dawn. I mean, I think
Isla Dawn surprised
that
me the
was
most.
surprised
I
us.
think to me that was, and I didn't see all 11, but the names I did see, that was the most surprising because I
Yeah.
mean they just did have the title run. Granted, we know they went back home, and that probably had a lot to do with it. But clearly they trusted them. Her and Alba Fire together were dope.
Yeah.
I actually saw a comment. I don't know who said it, so I can't credit them. But someone made a really cool point about Drew McIntyre getting into so much shit and having nobody have his back. And they mentioned Gallus coming up because they're good friends in real life.
Yep.
Gallus is who worked out with The Rock before he came back last year,
Yep.
so obviously trusted and well respected. And they mentioned like put Alba Fire and Isla Dawn with them. You can have a really cool stable.
Yeah.
On paper, it sounds amazing.
Now it's
Obviously, it
just
doesn't
gonna
seem
be
like
Alba
it's
Fire.
gonna happen. Yeah, but
Yeah.
And I'm very glad she stayed as well, but it was a little surprising that it was just Isla Dawn and not both.
Yes.
of them.
I know. Which
Like,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. I always
100%.
Anytime anybody gets to keep their job, I'm very
Yeah,
happy about that. But
100%.
like, it's just surprising.
And
to
even
them.
me, and to your point of nobody want to lose your. I guess if I would have figured they would have cut one, I would have thought they would have cut. Alba
No,
Fire.
I know Triple
I
H
know
is a
she's
big
been
fan of
around
Alba
longer,
Fire.
but I fucking.
I mean, she
love
held the
her.
NXT UK
But
Women's
I'm a
title
big
for
Yeah,
fan
no,
of
she
Isla
did. She
Dawn.
did. Me too, man. And she's
a big
also
fan of both of them.
very charismatic on the
For
mic. Isla
different
Dawn.
reasons.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah. Oh, Alba Fire can go.
Yeah.
Like, she's a beast. But I think Isla Dawn has more of that charisma. And,
a little bit more. Yeah.
and some more of the other stuff.
Booty. You can just say out loud. Shout out to women. Yeah, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I mean, didn't even.
I didn't
The
even
only
know they were
surprising
there.
thing about that was that apparently Carl Anderson was injured, and they don't usually release somebody when they're injured.
But they're probably gonna do something backstage. Like they're
know.
probably gonna
Yeah,
get
I wouldn't
rehired
be
as like
surprised.
something.
I
in,
see them showing up at TNA again.
yeah, maybe they still probably
They
want
ain't
to
gonna
keep
miss a
wrestling.
paycheck. Those two.
Oh, absolutely
They ain't
not.
Well,
gonna
like
miss-
at the end of
they'll
their
go to
career,
Japan, they'll go
then
anyway, they ain't gonna miss paycheck.
No, hell no. The Good Brothers, they'll go
they
wherever
will not miss
wherever
paycheck.
they're called. But I think that AJ Styles will eventually have a role in WWE
Oh, for sure.
Performance Center, and they'll probably stick around with him when
Probably.
they're done. When they're done.
100%.
There was another name.
Authors of Pain.
Authors
of Pain,
Ellering
and Paul
got let
Ellering.
go.
They just never did it for me. I'm gonna be
I
honest.
I
love
liked them
them.
in NXT.
That
I
original
thought
run.
they were
Yeah.
gonna be like dominant
yeah,
tag team.
me
and
too.
they
I thought they
just-
should have been. Like they gave me not Samuel and Fatu, but Barbarian and what was the other one? The two big dudes who face.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forget. But they gave me those vibes just in terms of size and what they
he
look
was
like.
Warlord?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I remember seeing them NXT in Dallas when I went. Their tag match, they were fucking amazing as the Authors of Pain during that run with Paul Ellering. Paul Ellering, for his own good, probably.
Yeah, it's
should
probably
hang
for
up.
the best.
But it was sad to see them go because I thought pushed the right way, and I think maybe going to another company, like maybe they go somewhere else and can do something really, really fun. But
Allegedly, they also have some
on
heat
paper,
on them
so.
from that super show they were gonna promote, and then they just like weirdly canceled it at the last minute.
I don't remember
So
that.
apparently, they have some like industry heat. on
That
them.
makes
I guess
sense.
that checks out more too, because at that point it's like, is it worth it what they're giving us if we're
Right.
dealing with any other shit?
And then the name is drawn. I'm drawing a blank. The Italian dude.
Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
well,
kind
I
of
mean,
had a
Jesus.
Yeah.
They fucking botched that
Yeah.
multiple
Botched him
times.
big
Yeah.
time. Big
Multiple
time.
They
times.
teased his like
They
whole
did vignettes for
return.
like 3
Yeah,
months.
and then he
nothing.
lost that
He
first
just never-
match,
Yeah.
and then I thought
then he
maybe
just gone
we
forever.
talked about maybe they make a thing out of it, and they didn't. So
No.
I'm like, what did he do?
Right.
Like, did he piss in Triple H's Cheerios? Why were they so upset with
Yeah.
him? Another one who was amazing. I'll never forget him catching Apollo Crews in midair. Like,
Yeah.
he's fucking insane.
Nope. Yeah, he botched him big time. Those vignettes went nowhere, which is just funny. It's always funny when those just end up becoming nothing.
Yep.
Shout out to the Wyatt Six. Where are they?
Allegedly going to be on SmackDown soon.
Soon.
Well, with Alexa Bliss or
That's
not? Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Allegedly, they might be teaming that. That's why they put her on SmackDown because they're going to put.
That's
them
what I
together.
mean. I figured that when I saw that, but
Yeah, they're not doing any favors, man.
so yeah, it's
Right.
it's a fun time of the
Best
year.
time,
We love this time of the year.
I think Duke Hudson was the other name we did.
Yeah, it was
that's right.
Duke Hudson.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. I know. Yeah.
I like Duke.
and
but,
apparently he got
I guess
released
if
like
Chase Hughes-
almost
a couple
a
months
month
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
It was like mid-September, mid-January. I mean, they got rid of him.
No,
See
it
them in
sucks,
90
it sucks,
days.
man. But like you said, it's the roster is so deep and so good.
Yeah.
Plus with the TNA
This is
connection,
inevitable.
I'm sure
Yeah,
that
this is.
yeah.
We're probably going to see more of these cuts.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
inevitable at this point.
Which is a bit too bad when you look at the fact that you have a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
And now a 2.5-hour show that doesn't have much in the way of commercial breaks. Like,
Well,
you can't
for
find
some,
5
no,
minutes
No, it's
for these
real.
guys.
But then
Right,
you
yeah.
think of like Jey Uso's entrance taking the first 30 minutes of
Right.
the show.
That's
Yeah.
the other thing.
It's like, are you going to cut that for 10 minutes?
But that's what
I
was
mean,
cool
yes.
about last
No,
night.
as
Like,
wrestling
yeah,
fans,
like, yeah.
100%.
Like,
but like money wise,
don't get me wrong. His entrance is great.
Yeah.
Jey Uso's entrance is great.
he's
But like,
in.
it does go a bit.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's a bit
it's
long in the
crazy.
tooth at times.
They
That's
maybe,
why I loved the Gunther beatdown because it gets great heat
Yeah.
on Gunther, and also
but
it's
in the way
shortened
they
that quite a
shot
bit.
it was so good.
but the
too.
difference. So this is what makes wrestling so interesting is that it's a weekly show where 99.9% of the time we're watching it from our couches. But like when you're in the arena, you want the
Yeah,
No, I get it.
encore,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
But it sucks for us because we're like, okay, like
Because that's the thing, like you're right. They do that for the people in the arena, but that's like 1% of the people watching the
know.
show
Yep,
at
yep.
most.
I know, and I think they can maybe do that. They're going to continue to do it, but
Oh, of course.
I think for us at home, we could take that maybe one more time. But
I could take it at PLEs.
Yeah.
You're great at PLEs because
Yeah.
like it's
Go back to
it's a whole
France and
point
do
of
it.
show.
Please go back to
absolutely.
Lyon and do
oh,
it.
dude, speaking of AJ Styles, we getting some crazy pops last night
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That felt French-esque, not maybe 50% of French, but still, like for an American crowd,
was
he was
big.
getting some big pops. He was excited for that. So
I think the crowds have been awesome too.
That's-
Yeah.
The crowds have been so good.
That's who you have John Cena face if it's not going to be Cena Cody. That's the
There you
only
go.
other one I'd be okay with.
there you go. I'm
Give me
down for that
all
too.
day.
Their matches were fucking
I'm down for that,
incredible.
too.
Give me that
So
all
give
day.
it a Mania
Yep,
match.
I'll take that.
We're gonna have this argument every week until
probably are, yeah.
it's announced.
Because we're
good.
never going to see eye to eye.
No,
until-
Just
fuck
means
no.
it's WrestleMania season, boys.
Right.
That's what it
Yeah.
means. That's what it
I
means.
love it. If we agreed, it wouldn't be as fun.
I 100% agree.
You agree
love-
with that?
Yeah, I do.
You agree with disagreement?
I agree with
Consensus.
disagreement.
Yes.
I love good, respectful disagreements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it helps you see the other side of things as well.
and it makes for entertainment.
Yeah.
If not, like you don't want to agree with everything we all say.
Oh, that's
'cause
a
then
cult.
it's stupid. That's a cult.
If only we were running the country, boys.
Right.
Oh,
Which
God.
apparently apparently Matt wants
Stat
go
Matt.
full circle. Stat Matt wants a cult because he wants cult of personality to win the Elimination Chamber.
And the
Which
title
I
of
will
WrestleMania.
admit, dope ass song off a dope ass album
it's
by
so
Cult
good.
of Personality
Yeah.
by Living Color.
Yeah.
So good.
I don't know. We'll see. Wow,
be
time flew
continued.
by
It's gonna be
tonight,
good.
and I have to eat dinner.
Yes.
Great week. We'll be back
have to
next
yeet
week.
dinner.
I have to eat dinner. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your partners, tell your peoples, because it's Mania season and we're just getting heated up. Do you agree with Flanabam? Is it going to be Cena Cody, or do you agree with my dumb ass and think it's going to be Punk? I don't know.
Well, do you agree with me? I just want to have a good
He's
time.
just someone.
Right.
He's a Super Bowl champion. He doesn't give a fuck.
Right, yeah, right.
just want everybody to have a
He
good
wore
time.
this the whole show, which
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of.
Well, a difference between him and Kevin Owens is that he at least can feel like
Yes,
he earned that.
I earned
Right.
this, Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
I earned this.
Kevin Owens stole it.
Also, Kevin
Yeah.
Owens, Sami Zayn is going to be
That's
a
gonna be a
fucking
bang.
banger.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
do it every year. I
A
don't care.
banger.
People, the very
Give him 30 minutes.
the very small
Also, let them
group
come
of
out as
people
Kevin Cena
online.
and El Generico.
Fuck yeah.
I saw a few people online saying like, "We're doing this again." Like, yes, we're doing
Yes.
this again because they put on fucking bangers.
Anytime they want to fight, I'm going to watch it. I'm
Absolutely.
going to watch it in Adele's Lemonade parking lot in Pawtucket.
Dead
I'm going
ass.
to watch it at WrestleMania. I'm going to watch it anywhere.
I love the specifics of that.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
a great day.
fantastic.
If Sami Zayn comes out to Olay, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
They usually
it's gonna be so
with the
good.
callbacks of those
gonna be
guys.
good.
So, all right, everybody, we'll see you back next week. Peace.